Hi guys, and welcome to your first pick a card reading for the month of April. Thank you so much to everyone who voted on the polls this month, everyone who suggested a topic for the polls, and to everyone who is watching this right now, thank you so much for being here. The topic that we're going to be doing today is all about your divine life blueprint. So basically, we are going to be finding out what your soul intended to experience and the lessons that your soul intended to learn and the things they intended to accomplish in this lifetime. I want to leave this reading pretty open. So my intention is that whatever your higher self wants to reveal to you at this time about your life's journey, whether that be a career path or certain soul contracts or certain spiritual lessons, whatever your higher self wants to present to you right now will be the messages in today's reading. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and for each group I have placed a different crystal point onto a different oracle card. They're super beautiful. Every oracle card has a different artwork on it. So I'm gonna show you the point, the back artwork, and then I'm also going to flip over the oracle card and you will see a message that is on the other side. So you might resonate with the crystal or the artwork or the message or all of the above. If you feel drawn to more than one group, please feel free to watch as many as you feel called to, because there may be messages for you in more than one pile today. But without further ado, let's take a look at all of your options. Number 1, your crystal is Angel Aura Rose Quartz, and this is your oracle card. The message on the other side is light. It is time to reveal your radiant light to the world. Number 2, your crystal is Moss Agate, and this is your oracle card. And the message on the other side is Earth Guide. Your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. Number 3, your crystal is, I think this is called Rainbow Phantom Quartz or Rainbow Quartz, and this is your oracle card. And the message on the other side is reflection. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. And number 4, your crystal is Citrine, and this is your oracle card. And the message on the other side is patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Angel Aura Rose Quartz, this is going to be a reading all about your divine life blueprint. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but not only are we going to see what is in this blueprint, but we are also going to be getting some guidance on how you can tap into it. So we're gonna start off with these oracles and then we will get into your tarot. So let's get right into it. We are starting off with the Runaway. Secrets, running from problems. I think I messed something up. Is it focusing? I think so. Then we have money, finances, power, generosity, abundance. We have long-term goals with Sirius and the past. Jupiter with abundance. Okay, I see a theme here. Then we have hidden motivations. And financial health. And 111 is on the camera timer as I bring up this card. Wow. So out of the 6 oracle cards that we just pulled here, we have 3 that are talking about abundance and money. Here, here, and here. And we also had the 111 as a confirmation of this message. So I think it is safe to say that my group number 1s in your divine blueprint is great material abundance. This is a part of your destiny to be financially wealthy. There's a lot of different types of abundance that exist, but in these two cards, we are specifically talking about abundance of the material kind. So this is definitely something that is in your future. And I also wanted to say that 111 was making me think that you're actually already in the process of creating this wealth or of manifesting it. As for why this is showing up so many times, it could be relating to the amount of abundance that is waiting for you. So your spiritual team may have chosen to repeat this message to really emphasize just how much money is coming in for you. Like, we are talking a huge fortune, something that will last for generations with this long-term goals. So if you have children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they will be supported from this wealth as well. Or just the community in general. Like, if you choose to donate your money or invest into causes that help the community at large, it will make a difference for multiple generations. This is what I'm feeling. So it's like the amount of your abundance or the lengths that it will go. It could also be appearing more than once because it may be something that is just a little bit hard for you guys to believe, a message that is difficult to claim. And so your spiritual team really wants to reassure to you that yes, this is something that is in your path. Others of you might even have an aversion or even like a rejection to this message. Maybe it doesn't feel right to desire money or material things. I think sometimes we can think that's like anti-spiritual or it's superficial, but money is a tool that will allow you to do what you love, to support your loved ones, or to support the larger community like we spoke about before. I think this idea that money is the root of all evil has come from the fact that unfortunately large sums of money have gone into the hands of people with bad intentions, people who are power hungry, but put in the hands of someone who has love and compassion for humanity and wants to make the world a better place. Money can do amazing things. So there could be a subconscious like aversion to money, like money is evil or it's superficial to want money. And I think your spiritual team is encouraging you to open your heart to this tool because it can do amazing things for you in your own life and it can do amazing things for the others around you. I think this money will do very well in your hands. Yes, so we are definitely reaching great success. My eyes are going to this number 45. 45 could be a really important age for you guys. It could be like when you have reached the height of your success or reached a very big milestone in your career. Or I just heard when your name is cemented, when your legacy is established. Like, this is the age where people will really know who you are and recognize you. We also have the number 14, which could be an important age. Probably most, if not all of you watching this have already passed this age, but perhaps looking back, there was some sort of formative event that happened around that age. We also have the numbers 1 and 7. While these could be important ages, they could also be indicating your life path number, for example, life path 1, life path 7. But let's get into some other non-money messages. We have Jupiter and we have the number 14. And both of these are making me think of the Temperance card in tarot because it's associated with both this number and Jupiter energy. I'm hearing that you will be a lifelong student. It is in your blueprint to always keep learning. You might be someone who goes back to school or continues to pursue higher education pretty much for all of your life, not because you need the degree to get a job or something like that, but just because you love enriching your mind. Maybe even in your 40s, you decide to go back to university to take a course just because you love learning and you have the means to do so. You could also learn a lot through travel. Or you might travel to learn from the best of the best. So, just for one example, maybe you develop a passion for astrology, and so you travel across the world to work with a very specific renowned astrologer and be their mentee. I think education and the idea of you never stop being a student will be something that's very close to your heart. And I think you'll really commit to it, and you'll do whatever it takes to get the learning that you want, whether that is, investing financially or, like we just mentioned, traveling across the world. I think this is a life where you're finally you have the luxury of planning for the long term, because we have past here. And so I feel like something that you're healing from a past life or changing from past lives is that you have, and it's coming through as a luxury. You have the luxury, you have the privilege to settle down and plan things in the long term. And perhaps that was something that you didn't get to do in previous lifetimes. We have the runaway with running from problems. In previous lifetimes, you may have lived in a lot of conflict or disorder, and you didn't have the privilege of thinking about the future. You were just thinking about, how am I going to get through today? How am I going to get through this next week? I don't have time to think about my hopes and dreams. I just have to think about surviving. It could have been as a result of, conflict in your country, for example, and having to relocate, or issues within your family. We got to move again. So maybe you jumped from location to location, or jumped from job to job. Something always happened and you had to change things. There's a feeling that you couldn't really find where you wanted to settle, or you just couldn't settle because, and by settle, I don't mean you're settling for something that's not good. I mean settle down, set your roots down. I feel like that was something you struggled to do in previous lifetimes. And it might carry over to this current lifetime, where you can never really seem to get comfortable, or you always fear that a connection is going to come to an end, or a job is going to come to an end. There's a feeling of not really being able to just trust that this thing is here to stay, this blessing is here to stay, I can relax. There's a feeling of your soul kind of always being on their toes of oh, this is going to leave soon, I'm going to have to move eventually because stuff is going to hit the fan. But in this lifetime, I think your soul wants to experience really setting your roots somewhere and feeling settled down and being able to plan, the next 5 years of your life, the next 10 years of your life, because there is some element of predictability. And this is really going to put your soul at ease. That doesn't mean that you won't travel and that you won't adventure, but you will do that out of leisure, not out of necessity of oh shit, I have to pick up all my stuff and move again. Because my town is being attacked, or my father caused a scandal and we have to escape again. Your soul has that experience of never really feeling like I can just settle down and be comfortable. You maybe even had to move around a lot because of a secret you were hiding, or a secret that someone else was hiding in a past life. I don't know, maybe you or your spouse or something was wanted for a crime and you had to be moving around. I don't know what went on in your past life, but in this life we are settling down. Yes, settling down, finding comfort, and making long-term goals. Perhaps something that your soul really wanted to do in previous lifetimes was get a higher education and start a business or move up in their career, and that just wasn't something that they could do. There's a shift in this incarnation of going away from a survival mentality to one of thriving and being able to do things because of passion, because of pleasure. Finally, it's in your hands. That's really nice. Over here with hidden motivations. And it's so interesting because I guess when we hear hidden motivations, I just saw 1122 by the way. I guess when we hear hidden motivations, it can sound kind of spooky. It can sound kind of ominous, but when you look at what is inside of this person, it's very wholesome, right? It looks like their family, their home, their companion animals, nature, things that matter to them are quite wholesome. This person's heart is full of love. So this may be a situation for you guys in this lifetime where you might be seen as this, cutthroat, savvy business person. You might be seen as this mogul who is really concerned with material things and climbing up the ladder. And you're very good at doing that. But it's not your motivation. Your motivation is not the hustle. Your motivation is not money and status. Your motivation is your family and your loved ones and taking care of them. But that might be something that you keep hidden to yourself because it's deeply personal and deeply sacred. You don't really talk about your family and your loved ones like that. That might be something from a past life as well. Like just keeping that to yourself and keeping that sacred to protect it from to protect them, I should say, from any harm. For some of you, if you do resonate with having sort of an unconscious aversion to money or the desire of money, it could be that in previous lifetimes you partnered with people for work reasons or for business reasons who ultimately took advantage of you. I'm seeing you, picking up jobs because you need money, you need to support your family. But perhaps you were taken advantage of because you were in a desperate situation or because you weren't super educated and then you didn't get paid fairly or you didn't get paid at all. Maybe you didn't really understand contracts you were signing. So there may be this unconscious association with like money equals getting screwed over or money equals selfishness. And so there's this underlying fear of pursuing that. This lifetime is all about learning that you're safe, that you can set up camp where you are and start building your home and building your empire. And I really love that for you guys. So let's get into the tarot now. We're going to be using, this is actually technically called an oracle, but it's built like a tarot. It's the Cosma Visions Oracle. And so I just saw 1414, by the way. Seems like 14 is an important number for you guys. In this part of the reading, we could be getting more information about your divine blueprint, or we could be getting advice on how to tap into this energy. I'm noticing as well, these two fish swimming in the circle like this, it does remind me of Piscean energy, and then Jupiter is also one of the rulers of Pisces. So you could be a Pisces or have 12th house placements or Pisces placements, or someone important to you could be a Pisces. I think so far we mentioned Pisces and Sagittarius. We also have, this is a sacral chakra card. And, oh, we also have kind of a watery theme here. I believe this shape is the element of water. Sacral chakra is also related to water. Your sacral chakra as well as your third eye, I believe, are quite strong. There's a lot of orangey colors throughout these cards. And we also have this dark blue color, which reminds me of the third eye. Your soul, and I think a lot of souls, if not all, have this desire, but I think your soul has a deep desire to create and connect with others. You're very good at looking past people's surface level words and behaviors and seeing to the truth of them. For example, seeing people's true intentions, seeing the desire or even the wound that lies behind what they're doing. I feel like you have a gift of not taking things too personally, because you understand that people's actions towards you say more about them and what they've been through than they do about who you inherently are as a person. That will be something that you master in this lifetime for sure. But you have a gift at connecting to others and tapping into other people's energy. Like, you would be very good at like reading for other people, for example. And you see beyond just the human that is being presented to you, and you can see into people's soul. You can see what motivates them. You can see where they're really coming from. The thing about that gift, though, is that some people will really love that about you, because I think there's a lot of people who deep down are craving to be seen for who they truly are. They just might be afraid of showing their true self, or not even really sure how to express their true self. And I'm hearing for some people, you being able to just see right through to the core of what they're really trying to express and who they really are. For some people, that's like a huge relief. It feels so good to be seen, you know? For others who are not ready to be seen or not ready to see themselves, you could trigger them for having this gift. It's just something to keep in mind. Some people will love your gift and welcome it. Others will be afraid of it. But your gift is your gift, and you don't need to hide it. Okay, so what else does group number 1 need to know about their divine life blueprint? We have the 3 of birds. I believe this is the 3 of swords. I'm just going to check. I'm not super familiar with this deck yet. Yes, it is swords. Okay. We have the 2 of birds, which is the 2 of swords. And then we have the entertainer. These 2 came out together. We have the 10 of lotuses, which is the 10 of cups. Then we have the 9 of embers. And I think, yes, that's the 9 of wands. We have the 9 of birds, 9 of swords. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have soulmates. And 2121 as I bring this up to the camera. Okay, I wasn't really sure what I wanted the bottom of the deck energy to represent in this reading. Sometimes I think of it as like the, the glue that holds the spread together, or one of the most important messages, or what a member of your spiritual team wants you to know. I guess it's important for you to know that there is a significant soulmate in your life this time. This will be an important soul contract for you. And it's interesting that we had like the two fishies swimming together. I did have a little bit of a inkling that maybe it was something like this. And so now we have confirmation of that. What is going on outside? There's been a lot of people with megaphones outside recently. I think, 2222. Soulmates confirmed. Yes, and I think that this is really a confirmation message for you guys. A lot of you guys might already be, fully well aware that you have a soulmate, or even of who it is. If you have not met them yet, I think that your spiritual team wants to reassure to you that yes, you do indeed have a soulmate. And judging from this, underneath we have the Six of Cups, which is also a soulmate card. Judging from the image here, it does look like this is quite an intimate soulmate in nature. Although it could also be a business partnership because of the two fish in the money card. And fish do make me think also of abundance and resources. So it could be a partner that you share your resources with. And the intimacy here is just showing like the deep level of trust that you have with each other. But definitely strong romantic vibes here. Let's read from the guidebook what this soulmates card says. Duality and connection. In a bright flash, your soulmates wrap around you in a cosmic embrace. In this moment, you feel safe and loved. We travel through time with these souls, and each one changes us into who we are meant to become. Some challenge us, and others lift us up when we are on the edge of the light. Through them, you feel absolute love. Something is stuck to my nail. Throughout many lives, our soulmates build us into who we are meant to be. Like a song on repeat, we encounter the same souls over and over again. When this card shows up, it asks us to take pause, reflect, and appreciate the idea of this immortal connection. Open up to others, show them the real you, and your deep connections will be bountiful. Be vulnerable, be content, be okay with being alone and learning about yourself. When you do this, you will find your relationships with others will only grow stronger, and when you do encounter a soulmate, the spark will be unmistakable. And this is on page 31, in case that is a relevant number to you guys. So it seems in the guidebook we are talking about multiple soulmates, a very intimate group of souls that you continue to incarnate with over and over and over again. So, and especially with the Six of Cups underneath here, if you ever feel oddly familiar about someone in your life, you feel very connected to them even though you haven't known them for that long, or you have that weird feeling like you have known them before or that you've known them forever, it's most likely that this person is a soulmate to you. And it's most likely that you've had this same experience in the last lifetime and a lifetime before that and the lifetime before that. I definitely think that your spouse, your life partner, and your children, if those are something that you want, will be your intimate soul family. But the people who play significant roles in your life are definitely soulmates. You've definitely known them before. I think it's nice to keep learning as a group, as many of us do, keep learning as a group of souls throughout our lifetimes, because we kind of know where we have left off. Like, for example, if you're going to school and every single day you have a different teacher, it just doesn't work, right? Because if you have the same teacher every day, they know your progress, they know your personality, they know what you need, they know what doesn't work for you. So I think your soul group is really committed to working together. They love working together every single time. These soulmates do share a telepathic connection with you. So even if they're not in your life in the 3D presently, you are able to communicate with them. And I think that this is something that you're able to do with a high level of depth and a high level of accuracy. And you may also have the gift of connecting others to their soul family and their soulmates. I mentioned you guys would probably be very good at reading for others. And it seems like specifically you would be good at like channeling messages from soulmate to soulmate, channeling messages from soul family to soul family, almost like an energetic, you're like an operator who's connecting people or an energetic matchmaker of sorts, which is super cool. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do for the bottom of the deck card. I'll like read the passage from the guidebook and just dive really deeply into it as a very significant message for you. So it's likely that your soulmates will have a similar experience to you because you have been so intimately in each other's lives for a long time. So these struggles that you have experienced with finding a place where you feel safe to settle down, with money, with abundance. A sign that someone is your intimate soulmate is that they will be dealing with the same lessons because they pretty much have the same past life experiences as you. So if you meet someone that you feel super familiar with and they are on a similar journey with similar long-term goals as you and dealing with similar struggles, that is a really, really big sign that they are a soulmate for you. So with the 3 of birds or the 3 of swords here, I do believe there will be a significant part of your life, in your earlier life, perhaps in your 20s and 30s, where you're not super happy or fulfilled, honestly. It feels like you're living out of alignment. And it feels like, and that's okay because our young years are for making mistakes and for figuring out what we don't want so that we can figure out what we do want. It seems like in your younger years, you may be more concerned with how other people think you should live or with other people's perception of you rather than doing what it is that you truly want to do. And I think this comes from, like these birds, your ideas and your opinions being shot down. I think you struggle in your earlier life with feeling like what you have to say is valid, feeling like your ideas are valid, even your own ideas for your own life. Because when I look at these birds, like birds make me think of something that we're expressing, something that we're communicating, like our ideas that we have, and they're all being shot down one by one. And I think this makes you very confused. For example, if you were a child who didn't really get the chance to think for themselves or make their own decisions, and it was just like whatever the parent says goes, you could grow into an adult who, it's like, I don't know what I want unless I consult with someone else. Or I have a hard time feeling like me wanting to do this is a valid reason. Like it has to be approved by someone else. You might be, in your younger years, the type of person who, like, if you want to do something, you have to run it by a lot of people and like see what they think about it. Or you could be indecisive, like, I don't really know what I want to do. This is an experience that you will go through when you're out of alignment. It could also have to do with your past lives of not even really having time to think about what you want to do because you only had time to think about what you need to do. What you need to do to make it to tomorrow or to make it to next week or to take care of your family. We had to focus on necessity. So now here you are in this lifetime with freedom and security, and you have the opportunity to do what you want, and you're like, well, shit, I don't know what this is. Like, I haven't really thought about it. So if you guys ever struggle in this lifetime of like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, or even with smaller things, like not knowing what you really want, it could be because this is one of your first incarnations in a long time where you have the luxury to think about that. Your higher self is really calling it a luxury. So, and maybe that's kind of a nice way to reframe it, because you might feel stressed when you're like, I don't know what I want to do. This is overwhelming. Meanwhile, your higher self is like, holy shit, I've never had so many options. I've never had so much freedom. I have so many things to choose from. Your soul wants to use this lifetime as that opportunity to, and maybe that's why your soul wants to like learn so much or go to school so much. It's like, I want to take all of the subjects and freaking figure out what I want to do. Which, it's sad, because I think to your human self, that feels bad, because we have this idea of you need to figure out what you want to do and you need to have your shit together. Like, no. Why should I have my shit together already? Your soul is like, I'm just getting started. This is all new and so exciting for me and I'm like getting emotional. This is also new and exciting for me that you're telling me I can choose from all of these professions. You're telling me I can choose from all of these hobbies. You're telling me I can choose where I want to focus my energy. That's kind of new to your soul, or like they haven't gotten to have that experience in a long time. And I think they're encouraging you to see it. My nose is running a lot. I'm like, this is so gross, but I'm like wiping it on my shirt. Your soul is encouraging you to kind of reframe how you look at all of these options, rather than seeing it as something bad or framing it as like, I have to choose, and feeling this pressure to be in awe, to be grateful of the vast abundance of paths that are open to you, or paths that you can choose to pursue. So, and also knowing that what you want is valid and that you can go for it. Because I think your soul has a past of like having to shut down what it is that they truly want. And in this lifetime, it's all about, I'm safe to explore that. I'm allowed to. I have the right to explore that. With the entertainer here, your soul has a beautiful gift, like we spoke about, of connecting to others. Really connecting to the core of people, not just surface level, but really connecting to their soul. You make people feel seen. You make people feel special. I think you're someone who likes to really build one-on-one personal connections with those that you are working with. So even if you had a huge audience of like thousands of people, you would still put in an effort as much as you can to connect to the individuals behind those numbers. That's something that's really important to you. You always want what you're doing to feel personal and intimate, even if it is happening on a large scale. And I think that's something super, super beautiful about you. Like, let's say you became a celebrity, or maybe you are a celebrity. You would never reach that point where you're like, I'm too important to respond to this fan. I feel like you would be the type of celebrity who like replies to everyone's comment and who stops to take a picture and asks about your fan's life. It's like you want to be personally involved like that. And you you do crave that intimate connection. And I think that's just so beautiful and so sweet. And even if you did have a past in this lifetime or in previous incarnations of moving around a lot, I feel like wherever you went, you created beautiful connections. Even if you moved every year you would make connections with people who love you. And they would say to you, I feel like you've gotten to know me more in this year of you living here than even some of my family members. because you just get to the heart of it. You get to the heart of people. And I think people really inspire you. With the entertainer, I also think something close to your heart is making people laugh or cheering people up, which I think is a blessing and a curse, because it can lead, as I'm seeing here, it came out with the Two of Swords. It can lead to people-pleasing tendencies sometimes, because I think the act of making another happy is just like such joy for you that if you got carried away with it, you could start to neglect your own needs. And it might be one of the reasons why you are quite indecisive sometimes, is because it's like you're constantly thinking about how others will be affected or what the other person might want. Maybe you guys have Libra placements too, because these are both Libra energy, the 2 and 3 of Swords, and that is very much like a Libra thing. My dad has a lot of Libra placements, and he can definitely be like that. Like just thinks about what others want more than others even think about it maybe. But that could make you very good at like customer service, because it's like or serving your clients, because you're anticipating their needs before they even realize they need that thing. You're very tuned in to what others might want or need, which is a beautiful gift, but we need to remember that taking care of yourself is important too. Some of you could even be destined to become an entertainer of some kind. A singer, a dancer, a comedian. There's so many other kinds of entertainment, but those are just the one I thought of. Gaming, creating games, or streaming gameplay, or making movies, or books. Books are a form of entertainment as well. Or even being an athlete, because people watch sports matches for entertainment. Yeah, I think entertainment is an element of what you do, whether you're in the entertainment industry or people find entertainment in what you are doing. I am noticing that this entertainer doesn't have a face though, and I think it's important to remind you guys to not lose who you are in the pursuit of bringing happiness to others. With the 10 of Cups here, you will definitely be as happy as you could ever dream of in this lifetime. I feel like that might be something that comes later in your life. I feel like your 40s are going to be a really, really happy time. Your 20s and 30s could be a little bit tough, because like you're still trying to figure out who you really are, and you know, it's harder to put yourself first. Maybe you struggle with really being authentic, but I feel like in your 40s, you really know who you are. And I feel like your stress level or your worries about others will decrease so much in your 40s. And maybe that's just from having life experience, but it's going to be an awesome time for you. It's where you realize, like, I am loving, I'm compassionate, I'm generous, and I'm also true to myself. And those things can coexist. And the way that I give love to the world is not by me bending over backwards and breaking my back or hiding who I am. I give love to the world by being me. I give love to the world in my own unique way. And if there's some spots that I miss, someone else can fill that with the way they give love to the world. I don't have to wear all the hats. I don't have to do all of the light work. I just have to do my own unique light work. And I guess something in your 40s is just making that click for you. And from then on, I think you're going to be really, really happy emotionally. I definitely think you'll be happy in your earlier years as well. But there's an element of just kind of being in your head. Like, you're happy, but you're also in your head sometimes. You also worry. You also get anxious. You also stress. And I feel like that's just dramatically decreasing as you move on in life. I do see you surrounded with a loving family with this 10 of Cups. I definitely think having a loving family is in your divine blueprint. We have, the soulmate here. We have the 6 of Cups, which is making me think of children. We have the children playing here, I guess, like in the person's heart. So I do think having a family is a part of your divine blueprint. For those of you who want to, create your own biological family, that's definitely in the cards for you. Or if you already have a family, like a spouse and children, they're definitely your soulmates, like you've been with them forever for a million lifetimes. If that's really not something you want, we can also read this as your chosen soul family. But the most important thing is that you are in union with your soulmates in this lifetime. They are incarnated. They are definitely here on Earth, or they will be soon. And you're being united, and you get to go through your life together, because that is what you always do. You always find each other. You have each other's coordinates like woven into you. You will always find each other. So there's no need to worry about that. And just by flowing like a fish swimming up the stream, just by flowing, you will find each other. You don't need to worry about it. I would even say, if doing soulmate manifestations makes you feel good, definitely do them. But I'm hearing, don't do them because you feel like you need to. Like, don't let it be something that stresses you out. If it strengthens the excitement for you and makes you feel good, definitely do it, but you don't need them. Like, you're gonna come into union regardless. You just need to know that, okay? With this volcano, this is a very specific message, but one of your spirit guides might be like a deity that is associated with a volcano, or a spirit that is associated with a volcano. I don't even know what that would be. You may feel a spirit guide very strongly if you visit a volcano or if you climb a mountain. It could also be a mountain deity as well. Mountains are significant. If you live near one, or if you spend time hiking on them, you will feel closer to your spirit guides, for sure. The Nine of Wands is about something you're getting used to in this lifetime as well, is that this is not, in some ways it's easier. In some ways it's challenging, because, working towards your career, your long-term goals, and building prosperity, that is challenging. But it's easier in the sense that we're coming out of survival mode. It might take some time for you in this lifetime to truly relax, to truly heal from that feeling that something bad is imminently going to happen, like a volcano is about to erupt. If you deal with anxiety or with like an impending sense of doom, or that feeling when things are going well, like something bad is bound to happen, I have a very strong feeling that that's something that comes from a past life, and that could be healed through getting a past life regression or past life meditations. It doesn't feel like a real worry that is coming from this life. Well, it is a real worry, but it's from previous lifetimes. That feeling of something bad could go wrong at any minute. Because I definitely think there was a point where you did live like that, and you always had to be ready to fight, like to go to battle, or you had to be ready to run away or completely relocate. So it will take some time, I think, to realize like everything is okay. We don't have to be in fight or flight mode. We can settle down, because what you're experiencing in this life is just complete peace, fulfillment, joy. Yeah, and the Nine of Swords too, that's about worry. You're coming from this past of being shot down, and you're worried that these birds will be shot down as well. I've gone through loss in my past. So now that I have all of these blessings, I'm worried that I'm going to lose them too. That's something that might be tough in this lifetime. And I think it just takes time. I think your soul just needs time to learn that it is safe. But if you ever have a worry that you can't really place or an anxiety that you can't really place, I would suggest to look into previous lifetimes. It could be very telling for you. Okay, so I think that those are all of the messages. Maybe let's get a couple cards just for advice. Is there any advice that group 1 needs to tap into this energy? We have the 10 of birds, which is the 10 of swords, the 4 of lotuses, which is the 4 of cups, and the ace of embers, which is the ace of wands. Okay, the advice from your higher self to tap into this blueprint is literally to turn off your head. Which sounds very funny, but your higher self is saying, turn off your head. I think that your head, your brain has a tendency of dwelling on things, like these vultures eating the dead thing. It is dead and yet they still flock to it. You might have the tendency of dwelling on past mistakes or past embarrassments or past disappointments. And your higher self is saying that is pointless because the present is not the past. The future that you are moving to is not the past. It's irrelevant. Moving on from the past is very important. And also, you don't need to entertain every single thought that comes into your head. Recognize that most of your thoughts are just random chatter and just send them on their way. This group has a very active mind, I think, which will be a challenge because brains are always just spitting out random bullshit. It's just a fact of brains. It's not like you personally. That's just what brains do. And we, or our frontal lobe, I think it is, or something in the front part, gets to choose which of those thoughts are helpful and which of those thoughts we get to entertain. And I feel like you have this tendency to want to analyze and pick apart every single thought that comes into your head. Sometimes negative thoughts are just crap and we can send them on their way. It's not always helpful to be like, where might this negative thought come from and what might it reveal about me? Sometimes the answer is nothing. Like, intrusive thoughts are a thing. They don't have to define who we are. And I think not giving so much weight to the majority of your thoughts is going to be really helpful, and just like letting them pass. Just letting them pass like clouds in the sky. And don't overthink. So easy for me to say that and hard to put into practice, but overthinking is your enemy. As long as, like, just float, just let yourself float. Imagine you are in a river and just let yourself float and let life take you where it wants to take you. And you will end up where you need to be. And I think that's what the 4 of Cups is talking about. I used to use this analogy of like a lazy river, you know, just let life carry you like a lazy river. You don't have to paddle. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to make it go faster. You just have to sit in your inner tube and just let the current of life take you where you need to be. The 4 of Cups is kind of boring, but I think you will find that having a boring mind is very peaceful. And when I say boring, I mean uneventful. You will get used to having a calm mind. It's almost like, I feel like sometimes your brain might entertain random thoughts or worry about things just to keep itself busy. And then when your brain is calm, it's like, I need something to do. I need something to think about. So boring is not the right word. Idle is the right word. But I think you will really enjoy living a simple and boring, so to speak, life this time around. This is a life of getting accustomed. This is a lifetime of getting accustomed to things. And I think you're so used to having to like run around and I have to deal with this and I have to deal with this and I have to be ready for the next bad thing to happen, that when you move more into a peaceful energy, you're like, I have so much free time. I'm bored. I need something to do. I need something to worry about. And like, no, you don't. Maybe you just have to coast for now and cruise for now and just enjoy the scenery. Slow down is another piece of advice. Turn off your head and slow down is what your higher self is saying. Allow things to flow naturally. You do not have to respond to everything. You don't have to deal with things immediately. You can give things time. Your soul in this lifetime wants to be guided by inspiration. I am acting out of inspiration, not out of pressure, not out of necessity. Do what inspires you. Take action when you feel inspired to do so. And if you don't feel inspired to do so, you can just chill. I mean, of course, there's going to be tasks that pop up that require our action, but chill is a big piece of advice from your higher self as well. Just relax. We're safe here. It's all good. Let your heart guide and let your inspiration guide. And the biggest thing is turn off that noisy old brain of yours. And that's not you, that's just the human brain is very noisy and annoying a lot of the time. But we love them. We love our brains. We love them. They just need a little bit of help. So, okay, those are all the messages for my group number 1. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. I am sending so much love to you, to your soulmates, to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys soon for the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Moss Agate, this is going to be a reading all about your divine life blueprint. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but in this reading, not only will we be getting messages about what is in your blueprint, but also advice for how you can tap into it. So we're going to start off with these oracle cards, and then we will get into the tarot for further messages and advice. For my group number 2s, we are starting off with the Walker, the Unknown, a Journey. Then we have Desires, Goals, Passion, Craving, Fulfillment. We have Balance with Arcturus and Parallel. Neptune, Sacrifice. Taking Steps. And Spirit Guide. Okay, so I want to start off with the Walker, the Unknown, a Journey, and Desires. I feel for many of you, the biggest purpose in your life is to fulfill your desires. And this message could be appearing to let you know that it is the very things that you desire that are in alignment with your divine blueprint and with your higher calling. What you want is in alignment with what is meant for you, with your highest good, and with what will allow you to make a positive difference in the world. What you want is an accurate reflection of that. And you are meant to fulfill these desires. They are there for a reason. That is coming through very strongly. For some of you, there could also be a message that your particular blueprint is not, how can I put it? It seems that it is not as rigid or as set in stone as perhaps the blueprints of some other humans here on Earth at this time. I feel like there's less of a feeling for this group of what you are meant to do or what you should do or what has been preordained for you. And this lifetime is more so about you giving rise to your own desires and then feeling the pleasure of fulfilling those desires. This group, you may find that your spirit guides might be a little bit vague sometimes when they talk to you, or they do not give you clear-cut instructions, or they don't give you like straight answers. And it's because this life is not really about what do I have to do and what should I do. And they're saying a lot of the time, the questions that you ask about, the path for your life, there is not really a right answer that they can impose upon you. There is no like external force that is trying to tell you this is what you should do. And so a lot of the times, if you come to your guides for advice, they might want to turn it back to you and say, well, what is it that you want? What is it that would make you happy? Your purpose in this life is just to pursue your desires and to fulfill those desires. That is what is in alignment with your higher purpose. So you fulfilling your desires will actually benefit others. It will benefit your community or even the world at large. It may feel like a selfish act when you are doing it, but just know that the world is benefiting from you doing what you want and being happy. It sounds so simple, but I think your purpose in this life is to be happy and to enjoy the fulfillment of your desires. I don't think that your soul came to this earth with a very rigid to-do list of like what you are meant to accomplish. I don't think this is a life that will have a whole lot of like tests or really tough lessons. That's just kind of the life that you're on. It feels like you may have other lifetimes where we're doing a lot of really tough healing and life feels very strict. If you ever feel that way about your life, it may be something that you have been conditioned to think. Like if you have interacted with humans who are like strict and punishing and want to discipline you and want to put you in a box, you might kind of internalize that and think that that is how the universe is with you, or like that is what your divine blueprint looks like. But I don't think you are here to be put into a box. I don't think that you are here to follow rules. A big purpose of your life is pleasure and desires. I think your guides want you to start asking, what do I want to do? What would make me happy? Rather than like, what is right? What should I do? Bring the focus back to your desires, because your desires are the blueprint. That's it. Your desires are your compass. We may need to reflect on what is scary about following our desires, or what might make us averse to it. For example, like we spoke about before, do I feel selfish if I pursue my desires? If I pursue my desires, do I feel like I'm neglecting something else? Is there something negative that I associate with that? Do I feel like it's frivolous to do what I want to do? You may be encouraged to think about that a little bit, because all I see here is full loving encouragement for you to do what you want to do in this life and to pursue pleasure. Piscean energy is strong here because we have Neptune, which rules Pisces. We have this water card. There's literally fish on this card, which is Piscean, and the sacral chakra, which is related to the element of water. And we also have the number 12, which makes me think of the 12th house, also Piscean in nature, and the Hanged Man card in tarot, which is also Piscean in nature. So you guys could be a Pisces, or this actually came out for group 1 as well. There was strong Piscean energy there too. You could be a Pisces or have Pisces or 12th house placements, or someone significant to you in this lifetime could have those placements. This could also be an indication that those of you in this group are highly psychic. Neptune energy is quite indicative of that. And with spirit guide as well, I feel like you do have a very strong connection to your spirit guides and to your divine guidance that you can definitely trust a lot more. For sure. I'm also noticing that there's 3 birds on this card and there's 3 fish on this card. So there may be a group of 3 that is significant to you, like a group of 3 soulmates that incarnate together. Now, with sacrifice and balance, once you find what it is that you really want to do, something that you may be mastering in this lifetime is simplifying your life and letting go of or disengaging from things that do not contribute to this desire. So if you discover that you desire to pursue a certain career, you may have to give up some things that do not contribute to your advancement in that career. Maybe we have to give up some things that are taking away our time, or taking away our energy, or taking away our material resources, whether that be habits, connections, certain commitments that you had. There is a feeling that in order to fulfill a big desire of yours, some sacrifices will need to be made. You will need to really devote yourself to this desire, because I think part of what your soul wants to experience is giving rise to that desire and then believing in it so fully and committing to it so fully and pouring everything you have into that desire and then feeling the joy of that wish coming true. There's something so beautiful about being able to put in the work to make something happen, and your soul wants to experience that. That's actually one of the beautiful things about the 3D, I think. I think a lot of the time we complain about things taking time down here and, the density of energy here. But in higher dimensions, you think of something and it's there. You think of something and you experience it. But there's something about the delays here on Earth and that feeling of putting in work and investing to make something happen that is extremely fulfilling. Your soul wants to enjoy that process of putting in hard work and then getting the fruits of your labor and saying, like, I did this. I worked for this. I built this. So following your desires will lead to great accomplishments for you. And I feel like you're striking this balance in this lifetime of like disciplining yourself and being productive and being hardworking to fulfill your desires, while also indulging in desires that are more pleasure-based. Both of them are important. And I just realized something. For this group, because you had the card Earth Guide, and I remember thinking like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then we have Spirit Guide here. Some of you may actually be a spirit guide, or in your future lifetimes, you will be a spirit guide. Like, you won't incarnate and you will stay in higher dimensions guiding earthlings. And that maybe is something that you have done before, or maybe something that you're doing right now with parallel here. Like, in a parallel existence, you are a spirit guide. Because I just realized that a big part of your blueprint is like discovering the beauty and the challenges of the 3D experience so that you can be a helpful spirit guide. If someone is your spirit guide, do you want someone who doesn't have earthly experience or who can't relate to that experience? You will want someone who is like, oh yeah, I've been there. I've done the earth thing. I've done the 3D life thing. I know the struggle. I know the challenges. I know what it's like to deal with this dense, tangible matter, to deal with the delays of time, to deal with obstacles. I can guide you. It's almost like a training that you may be going through in this lifetime. Gaining human experience so that you can guide other souls better. You maybe have not been to Earth for quite some time. And so you're coming back to refresh your memory of what it's like. You maybe have spent a lot of time in higher dimensions where things work very differently. Universes or worlds that operate under quite different laws. And so you're coming to Earth to remember what it's like. It's like to jog your memory because you are going to guide some Earthlings. And so this life might be a little bit frustrating because it's like you're coming back to this dense energy after quite some time. You may also have parallel lifetimes in different worlds right now where things are much different. And so you could feel confused or frustrated from that as well. Like you can't quite get the hang of Earth, but that's one of the big reasons you're here, is like to get the hang of it again and to remember this experience. I think, wow. Okay, let's get into the tarot. That was a really cool message. Let's get into the tarot now and see what else you need to know. So for this next part of the reading, we are using, this is the Cosma Visions Oracle, but the format is much like a tarot deck. And so we're gonna get some more messages about your blueprint, and then we're gonna get some advice for how you can tap into this. What else does group number 2 need to know about their blueprint? Yeah, I'm even looking at this Taking Steps card, which I think I maybe forgot to talk about. There's a feeling of you derive pleasure from like setting an intention and then moving towards it, as opposed to in other worlds where maybe we think of something and it's just there. We have to set the intention. We have to find our course of action. We have to move towards it. And there's something very beautiful about creating that from yourself. And I think that's why your guides maybe are less like, they're not the type to just give you instructions or show you what you need to do, because that doesn't really help you learn anything. And it also takes the joy away from you of creating your own experience. Like they're saying it would kind of be a waste of time if you incarnated and then your guides were just like, okay, here's your set of instructions, do this, 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 and then this. It's like, what is even the point? Because what we're really learning to do here is we're learning to create. We're learning to create our own story. We're learning to forge our own path. We're learning to identify what it is that we want and then move towards it. That's a big, I don't even want to say lesson, because even I think your guides don't like the word lesson. It sounds like patronizing, like I'm teaching you this and this is what you have to learn. Your guides want to give you a lot of freedom. It's not a lesson, it's an experience. This life is an experience. Your spirit guides, I feel like they really see you as an equal. So it would feel weird to tell you what to do. It would be like your boss asking you, what do you think I should do? How do you think I should run my company, which I guess they very well could. But they're showing me that there's not really a hierarchy. You and your spirit guides are equal. You are collaborators. This is a highly psychic group for sure. I'm hearing that at this point, for those of you who are interested in sharing your psychic insights with the world, I'm hearing at this point it is a small group on Earth who is ready for your message. It is a small group who would resonate, but over the years, this group is going to get bigger with new souls that are coming to Earth. You would kind of speak to a minority because it's like the masses are not ready, or they wouldn't be able to make sense of what you channel just yet, or they wouldn't be able to apply what you channel just yet. I just even had the idea of you leading a group of new souls, and it's almost like you came down to Earth to check things out. Would this be a good place to set up camp for a while? You're here to check something out for a new generation of souls, to like check out the experience. I'm also getting Aquarius-y kind of vibes from this group because I just got the feeling of, you know, you feeling like many rules and traditions on Earth are kind of outdated. You might be someone who resonates with the younger generation or is proud of the younger generation for all of the work that they've done to heal their trauma and to become more accepting. And I'm seeing like the progression through generations. Like humans are healing more and more throughout the generations, and each generation like lays a foundation for the next one. Each generation does their best to create a better future for the next one. You are here to help in that progression and to help with younger souls or younger people who might feel lost or hopeless. What else does group number 2 need to know about their blueprint? We have the Swan. So this is the High Priestess. So again, highly psychic group. Many of you may feel called to pursue a career that is spiritual in nature. I can definitely confirm to you that this would be a suitable path for you if that is something that you want. Or you will have, I feel like you'll have a career that deals with things that are hidden, things that you cannot see. Or something investigative, which this can be so many things, but I feel like you will thrive in a career that allows you to dive deep and uncover what was once hidden. So we could be diving deep into people's psychology. we could be diving deep into a crime or a situation where there are secrets and we have to weed out the truth. You could do something that deals with the inside of the human body, identifying problems that are not visible on the outside and healing them. You could work behind the scenes in, for example, maybe you work in a kitchen, like at a restaurant, that's kind of behind the scenes, or you work backstage, or you work in the lighting crew or the sound crew. It's like something that is not super visible, but that is very important, that is running the show, but just from behind the scenes. Others of you may do very well in some sort of career that creates a fantasy or that creates an illusion. Like film, like movies that have special effects, or social media where your persona is curated. Something that, I don't want to say sells you a fantasy, but I guess presents some sort of fantasy world or persona that helps you escape to another world. Walking or running could be, or swimming could be very significant to this group as well, because we have the walker and taking steps. Some of you could also work in some form of rehabilitation, like you help rehabilitate other people. You could be a runner or a swimmer as well. I'm also noticing a similarity here, like the mirrored image, the swan and the spirit guide. I think it was definitely in your blueprint to awaken to your spirituality and awaken to your psychic abilities in this lifetime. And to sort of live two parallel lives as your human self and as your higher self. When you ask for guidance, it's best to just ask your higher self, I think. And your spirit guides will probably even redirect you to your higher self a lot. When you ask for advice, they might tell you, connect to your higher self, or listen to your intuition, or the answer is within. And they're not saying that to be vague or difficult. They're saying that because it's true, because you already know the answer. You have a beautiful feminine energy about you as well, regardless of what your gender is. Many are attracted to your beauty, but not everyone is worthy. Not everyone can handle it. Not everyone can treat it with the respect that it commands. You may also build a career around your beauty. You may create things that are visually stunning as a part of your career, creating outfits, creating sets, creating wedding cakes, like creating things that are beautiful and elaborate. We also have the 10 of birds, so this is the 10 of swords. The Wanderer, which this is an original archetype from the deck, and also makes me think again that your path is not set in stone. We have Life Map, very interesting. Oh, and this is the Wheel of Fortune in traditional tarot. I'm hearing the clues are all around you. The clues are all around you in your waking life. The signs will show you where to go. You need only follow them with curiosity. And the more you are sure about what you desire, the clearer the signs will be. The signs are there because the signs answer to you. The signs are not telling you where to go. The signs are responding to you. The signs appear at your command. They don't tell you, they show you based on what you want. And we have the Ace of Trees, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Orbs. So we are going to read the bottom of the deck card from the guidebook. The Orbs. Here she is. So in tarot, this would be the Strength card. Bravery and overcoming fear. We learn many things from the orbs that we cannot learn on earth. These are wise souls who have lived lives upon lives and no longer reincarnate into human form. They exist only in the spirit plane and know all there is to know. They are omnipresent and imbue lost souls with bravery and strength. While in the spirit plane, they teach us about things we hardly remember on earth. The cosmic tree, life maps, karma, sacrifice, and past lives. They remind us of the maze and warn us about what comes after. The orbs can never interfere or change the path of fate. They only shed light on things you already once knew. Interesting. They only shed light on things you already once knew. When the orbs come up in a reading, it is an exclamation point and declares that you have the bravery, determination, and willpower to overcome any obstacles that may come your way. Fear can cripple a powerful mind, so shake the shroud and channel your fear into strength. Once you believe in yourself, you will find many future challenges suddenly conquerable. And this is on page 33. Wow, some of you guys could be a life path 33, or 33 is going to be a very significant age for you. But this is so fascinating to me. You, as well as, I don't even want to say your guides, but I guess they are your guides. You and the souls that you work with are highly evolved. I really don't feel, there's a feeling of like you don't come to Earth often, or you might not be coming back for a while or ever. I definitely feel like you spend most of your time on planes of existence other than Earth, and you carried with you to this life a lot of knowledge that is not easily accessible as an Earthling. And that's why I feel, does it feel lonely? I guess I should ask you. I can imagine it might feel lonely because I think a lot of humans are not ready for the insights that you have, or they cannot really make sense of them or even perceive of what you observe in higher realms and what you know to be true. However, because your connection to higher beings is so strong, maybe you don't feel lonely because you can feel their presence so strongly around you. You know that they're always there. Whatever it is that you end up doing professionally, I do believe that sharing your spiritual truth could be very important in this lifetime. I think that might be something your soul intended to do, to try, at least try, to show a new way of being and a new way of thinking to Earthlings. Because when you get so I think it's very important to get into your human character, but when you get so consumed by it, and when you get so stuck in your human mind, like the guidebook said, you become very scared. Because this life feels like all you will ever be, you can take things very seriously. When you forget that there's an infinite loving consciousness that is working always in your favor for your highest good, you feel powerless. You feel honestly terrified at times. I think you're helping to make the veil a little bit thinner for people who are ready to see beyond the veil, to see beyond this illusion, who are ready to remember. And some people will not be ready to remember, or that's just not part of their journey in this lifetime. And I'm hearing the work does not end with you. I feel like you're coming in to help plant these seeds. Some other souls will come in and pick up where you left off. You are here to share your wisdom, though. Even if it's just to plant a little seed. You might even get caught up in the fears of being human sometimes. Because we do have the Ten of Swords here, which especially next to the High Priestess, like, you are this very powerful spiritual being, but you might get caught up in the babbling of your brain sometimes too, and you might get caught up in fear sometimes too. This was a message that came out for group number 1 as well. I think your guides, the orbs, the beings that are with you, are reminding you not to be afraid because they are always here. Always, always, always here. I think that in order to heal some of the lower vibrational energies on Earth, you might be called to like get in there with them, if that makes sense. Like go into the trenches to heal some lower vibrational energy. You may even, in your profession, deal with some lower vibrational energies. Like, for example, like let's say you were a therapist or you were working in rehab, you might deal with people who are dealing with a very dark energy or who are dealing with demons. Or if you're working to solve crime, you might deal with some scary people and scary situations. There's a feeling of you plunging into the dark depths because you have to be directly working with those energies to transmute it. And the orbs are saying, don't be afraid because we will be right there with you. Very interesting. You are healing the world from lower vibrations, but you are not afraid of them, or you shouldn't be afraid of them because you cannot be touched by them. It's like you're wearing rubber gloves. That's your spiritual protection, and you're going in and cleaning up the mess. You know, you can't clean up dirt without getting in the dirt, you know? Unless maybe you had a really big fire hose and you just shh. But I feel like you're getting in there. And I feel like this experience will also bring you compassion for those who might be consumed by lower vibrations. Being afraid of lower vibrations only makes them stronger. Once you're not afraid of them, there's nothing they can do. It's like, I'm thinking of the Grinch, how the Grinch is so used to everyone being afraid of him, and then like Cindy Lou is not afraid of him at all. Like, she's nice to him. She tries to befriend him. She tries to understand him. And he's like, what the heck is going on? Like, everyone is usually afraid of me. Or like Shrek and Donkey. Shrek is so used to everyone running away from him and being terrified, and Donkey just wants to be his friend. And once they approach the monster with that loving energy, the monster loses all its power. The monster's attempts to scare the loving person or loving donkey don't work anymore. Or the loving who, I should say, because Cindy Lou is not a person, she's a who. But yeah, it's like when you step into these situations with your love and with your blindingly high vibrational energy, it just completely dissipates the fear. It completely dissipates the dark, if that's even the right way to say it. And it has no power over you. It softens to your love. The fear and resistance of it only makes it stronger. And I think so often when people are engaging in like lower vibrational behaviors or putting out that vibe, it's like they're putting walls up to protect themselves. You know, both the Grinch and Shrek, like deep down they feel insecure and they just want to be loved, but the walls that they put up is like, I'm gonna keep you out and scare you away before you can really get to know me and reject me for who I actually am. And I think there's something about your experience in this life where you're actually gaining a lot of compassion for people in this darker energy. Like, at the end of the day, they want to be loved. At the end of the day, they want the light. And when you bring that to them, it heals. I don't know how you do it. It's your gift. It's your gift. You transmute the darkness to light. You melt away barriers and separation consciousness that exists in humanity. You melt it away with your love. Wow. With the Wanderer and Life map, I definitely think, like we spoke about a bit before, these are confirming that you do have a lot of freedom in this incarnation. And the map is interactive. The map configures itself based on your desires. So it's not like a preset journey of what you are meant to do. It's like you're here and you set your intention. This is what I desire. And then the map like bloop, bloop, bloop. Like that's the sound of the map configuring itself. The map builds itself on the spot for you. And you will start to see signs pointing you not to where you have to go or where you're meant to go, but signs pointing you to what you want. Because as soon as you decide what you want, the world around you responds and gives you clues of how to get it. And if you change your mind and you want something else, the map will rearrange itself. Like that. And the map overlays itself onto your waking life on Earth. So you will see clues all around you in your waking life showing you the way. With the Ace of Trees, this is the Ace of Pentacles. So definitely material success and material gain is a part of your blueprint as well. You will always have enough to be comfortable. And I'm kind of seeing the resources will find you along the way. So if you had a desire, let's say you had a desire to backpack through a certain country, I feel like you could literally just show up there and all of the money, food, accommodations, whatever it would be that you need, it would like pop up for you as you go. This is a promise that materially you will be taken care of and resources will always pop up right when you need them if you just have faith and keep walking. Because this map that is there to support you and guide you, it like builds itself as you go. You are like collaborating with the life map in real time. And it will make sure that you're always supported and taken care of. And I feel like your abundance, it goes beyond just money. It's like the earth providing for you when you need it. When you need a place to sleep, when you need something to eat, when you need clothes on your back, when you need money, when you need equipment. Whatever it is you need, it's like the earth responds to you. Let me know if you guys have experienced this in your life. Like you think about, oh, I really need blah, 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 or I really want blah, blah, blah. And then it just pops up. I feel like there's a bit of luck that you guys deal with. You might get free things. People might offer to help you out. And it's just the universe's way of letting you know that you are cared for. It's interesting that the roots are not actually in the ground. They're like levitating. There's a feeling of you very much being here on Earth and also very much not being here, like being somewhere else, which could be overwhelming at times. If you ever feel like it's too much, grounding practices could be very helpful to you, but I feel like you're actually very good at balancing the human experience and your spiritual experience. I think you're very good at it. But if it ever does get too much, grounding could be very helpful, especially grass and like dirt. Like getting your feet on grass, getting your feet on dirt, especially like after it's rained and it's really like earthy smelling. That's the feeling that's coming to my mind. Wow, this is such an interesting group. Let's get some advice for you guys. What advice does group number 2 need right now? Ooh, past lives. Remembering who you have been in past lives could be extremely empowering for you. I feel like you've lived some really badass lives, many of which you were not here on Earth. I feel like these are all the people on Earth, and this is you. Like, there's something special about you. Yeah, getting in touch with your past life selves, it could help you. It will empower you because you'll remember how powerful you are. But also, if you look through your past lives, you can kind of see the long-term timeline, the zoomed out timeline of what you are working on. I feel like you could even, like, you pop into Earth, you do some work on Earth, you go somewhere else, and then you come back and like keep doing your work, you know? Like, oh, I'm here to pick up what I left off. You have been helping this Earth over a long time, through the ages. We have the 8 of Embers, which is the 8 of Wands. Speak your truth, even if it's not popular. And, you know, we spoke a lot about maybe people aren't ready, maybe people won't resonate, but you need to speak your truth anyway. Sometimes it takes people hearing or being exposed to a message several times before it really registers. It takes exposure, it takes repetition. Don't be afraid to speak your truth, and don't be afraid to give people harsh truths, or even to give yourself harsh truths. Be more direct in life, be more assertive, be more straightforward. Speak up about what you want. If you see injustice, if you see fuckery going on, for lack of a better word, even if no one else is talking about it, don't be afraid to speak up. Sometimes really loving someone or really loving the world can look like this. Sometimes you have to be blunt. Sometimes you can't be all like flowery and love and light. Sometimes that's not the best way to love someone or to love Earth. We have to address the elephants in the rooms. We have to address the negative energy. Call out bullshit when you see it. That is the easiest way to get you out of the way of what is not meant for you. Because if you speak your truth and the reaction is negative, that's the easiest way to know, like, okay, I was not meant to be here. I was not meant to be messing with you guys. If we get it all out in the open, then we can put an end to what was not meant for us and who was not meant to experience our energy or who was not ready for our energy. And last advice for group number 2, we have the Phoenix. It's interesting that we have Phoenix and then we have the Death card. Your higher self is really emphasizing that you're an infinite being and that you continue to take on different forms and you continue to reinvent yourself. There's also a feeling of destruction with this 8 of Wands. Don't be afraid of destruction. Don't be afraid of things falling apart. If something is falling apart, let it fall apart. And if it was meant to be in your life, it will rise from the ashes. It will come back. Don't be afraid of destruction. Pluto energy could be a very powerful ally to you in this lifetime. Destruction and rebirth. And what else did I want to say? Oh no, I hope I'm not about to like space out. I don't like when that happens. But don't be afraid of endings. Don't be afraid of reinventing yourself. Oh, this is what I was going to say. And I feel like I've spoken about this sometimes in readings, but I saw it in a quote that summed it up a lot better than how I had said it before. But it's like sometimes starting over is not bringing you farther away from what you want. It's actually bringing you closer. So don't be afraid to start things over or start from scratch in your life or let things fall apart. I think we have a very limiting idea of what the journey to success looks like, where we're just constantly building on top of what we've already done and moving straight up in a linear fashion. But life often doesn't work like that. We might build something up and then destroy it, and then build something up again and destroy it again. Or build something all over the place rather than in a straight line. Don't shy away from chaos either, because beautiful things can be born from chaos. There's like a strong feminine energy in this group. Maybe your spirit guides are feminine. And with the Phoenix as well, being the Hierophant, this is about being in alignment with your higher self, which I think you very much are. I also think look for clues about the past lives you've maybe had on Earth. I feel like there's maybe not that many, because again, I don't see you as like a an earthling. I feel like you're from somewhere else. But just look out for clues about what kind of past lives you may have led on Earth. And I think there's a big theme with this group about messages coming to you in your waking life, primarily because the world will shape itself around you to show you the clues that you need. So, for example, if you had a significant lifetime in, I don't know, in Australia, for example, or like where Australia is, maybe it was something else a long time ago, but you would start to see signs of that everywhere. You might start to learn about civilizations that used to exist there. You might see it in movies, or it's popping up in books. Like, the signs will come to you in your waking life. And if you learn more about what life was like in that time period, in that part of the world, in that tribe, it will give you a better idea of what you were like and what you've been through. Your higher self wants to show you everything about who you've been and where you've been, because it will be very empowering for you. And it might help you understand better why you want the things you do. Like, where your desires come from. And I think the more you understand where your desires come from, the more it helps you to validate them. Because I think a lot of humans, like, we just want to know why. It's hard for us to just be like, this is what I want and it's valid. We want to know, like, why? Where is this going to lead me? And so you might find the answer to that in your past lives. Like, this is why I want the things I do. But at the same time, if you're able to just be like, this is what I want it because I want it and I'm going to go for it, and that feels valid to you because it is, then go for it. But I think, yeah, your higher self is maybe seeing that some of you are struggling with the idea of, my purpose is to do what I want, and what I want can be anything. That might feel, you might want more of like a why, more of a clear destination, which you might find the answer in your other lifetimes. So those are all the messages I have for my lovely group number 2s. What is special energy? This was so interesting. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I'm sending lots of love to you, to your spirit guides, your higher self, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys soon for the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Rainbow Phantom or Rainbow Quartz or whatever, this is going to be a reading all about your divine life blueprint. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but in this reading, we're not only going to be getting messages about what is in your blueprint, but also advice for how you can tap into it. So we're going to start off with these oracle cards, and then we're going to move into the tarot for further messages and advice. For my group number 3s, we are starting off with the Assassin, Ruthlessness, Conviction. We have Home, Shelter, Safety, Nurturing, Warmth. Pioneering Spirit with Lyra and the Past. Fire Element, Desire. Happy Success, and finally Happiness. So we have double happiness and also 111 on the camera timer as I bring out happiness. Okay, what is interesting to me out of these cards here is that there's a lot of fiery energy. We have the element of fire here on this Assassin card. We have obviously fire on the Fire Element card, but also Lyra makes me think of fire. So you guys could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or have dominant fire placements, or there could be a fire sign who is very important to you in this lifetime. Something that actually is also, I'm just noticing, Lyran star seeds, or Lyrans in general, their planet, Lyra, was destroyed. So some Lyran star seeds have that kind of past trauma of their home planet being destroyed. And then we have home here. And it almost looks like the being on this card, the way they're leaning towards it, it's like they're looking for home. That might be a feeling that you guys have in this incarnation, that your home is somewhere out there, but you don't know where it is, or you're trying to search for that feeling of belonging, that feeling of being at home, that feeling of being safe. You might struggle with, where do I belong on this earth? Where do I belong in this life? Or do I even belong at all? You might feel lonely sometimes, or feel a longing or a grievance that you can't really place. You may actually resonate with being a Lyran starseed, or you may feel called to look that up if it's not something you've looked into before. With the pioneering spirit and the fiery energy, that's giving me Aries kind of vibes. I feel like your soul, okay, they corrected me. I was gonna say your soul is a natural leader, but I think you're very capable of taking the lead and stepping up. And maybe you are good at it, but it's not where you feel the most in your element. And that's very interesting. I think that we assume just because someone can do something and that they're good at it, that that's what they should do or that's what they're meant to do. But I feel like that might not be the case for you guys. Something that you might also experience in this life is being effortlessly good at something, and then everyone just assumes that that's what you should do for a living, or like that's what you would be the happiest doing, when that is not really the case. I think that you guys as people value happiness and emotional fulfillment more than like what your job is or what your material accomplishments are. You're like, I just want to be happy. And that might be something that people scratch their head at. Whereas for you, it's like, that's so simple. Of course, I just want to be happy, you know? I just want to be happy. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to find my home. I just want to find where I belong and find my soul family and then live happily ever after with them. I do feel like you guys, you have had some difficult or painful past lives. What I'm seeing is that in your past lives, you did some things that you are not proud of, but it was because you had no choice. You know, the assassin is kind of scary. There's a feeling of harming others, or maybe even, you know, battling others where there's casualties involved. I feel like you had to do something like that to protect your family or to protect your home or to protect your country. And maybe you were very good at it, but if it was your choice, you would not have done that. There's a feeling of you being misunderstood because when the situation called for it, I think you had to step up and be this aggressive, strong leader. And then everybody thought that that's who you are because it came so naturally to you. But that's not who you are. That's not who you want to be. You wouldn't have chosen to do that. And I think people just painted you as this like dominant fighter, boss leader in your past life, and you're like, I don't want this. Like, I just want to be friends. I just want to be surrounded by my loved ones. I just want to live a soft life. You have that fire in you and you have that strength in you, but I don't think you necessarily want to be put in situations where you have to use it. And in your past lives, I think you had to use that fire and that power and that strength in you. I think what you would like to do is transmute that energy into passion and use it in creative ways. Yeah, the fire feels very creative to me. I definitely think that your soul wants to explore their creative potential in this lifetime. Whether you do something creative for a living or whether you do it as a hobby, your soul would be very happy to make art and to create and to express themselves. I think that you want to find your home, you want to be happy, and you want to create. And like, it's very simple, but I think it's hard. It's hard for your soul to, and this is kind of similar to group 1, it's hard for your soul to relax and to know that things are going to be okay. I think this life for you, it's less about being a leader as in you're like directing a group and telling them what to do, but it's about you being a pioneer. It's about you being a leader in your ideas, you setting an example, you doing something that has never been done before, you creating something that has never been created before. I think you want to use your leadership in that way, like in being an example rather than actually like having people answer to you. I think you've been in many of those kinds of leadership positions in your past lives where people answered to you and there was a lot of pressure. Some of you could even have a past life as a well-known like historical figure who was a leader, you know, and especially like a military leader or the leader of a country or something like that. And everyone would look at you and think you're in your element, but it wasn't really what you wanted to do. I feel like you wanted to live a more comfortable and happy life. You didn't care about the power. You didn't want to like boss people around or be in charge of everyone. You just had to because like people needed a leader. I don't know if it's that you were forced into that position, but the desire to protect your family and to protect your land was strong. I think there's a desire for your soul in this lifetime to live a more chill and cozy life like this little ferret, but to still live a life of passion and excitement. I feel like your soul is very sweet and pure, and their desires are very wholesome. I just see you wanting to be surrounded by friends and surrounded by your soul family. It's lovely. What numbers do we have here? We have the number 4, 11, and 8. These could be significant numbers for you. Could be life paths, life path 4, 11, or 8. 37, we could reduce that to 1, like being a life path 1, or 37 could be a very important age for you in this lifetime. But home and happiness, and I think are really big things in your blueprint. Finding your home, finding your happiness, and also expressing yourself creatively. And coziness and comfort are in your blueprint as well. So we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into this. And we're going to be using the Cosma Visions Oracle, which is much like a tarot deck. I just saw 10:01, by the way, on the camera timer, 1001. Which is interesting because that's a mirroring number. And then you guys were drawn to this message, the one who mirrors your hidden self. Seeing mirroring numbers could be, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm being so rough with this little rainbow guy. Seeing mirroring numbers like 1001 or like 1221 or something like that could be how a divine counterpart's higher self communicates with you. We also do have earth energy. So we mentioned fire energy being prominent, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is earth energy because this is related to the root chakra. So that is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Your soul's definitely craving excitement and adventure, but in a contained way, in a safe way. I feel like what you've experienced in the past, it was thrilling and it was fiery, but there was no sense of security. You may be even a soulmate that you might be encountering in this lifetime might be a loved one who you tragically lost in a past life. And in fact, if you ever feel oddly, I'm hearing clingy, oddly clingy to someone, it could be because you have the memory of losing them in a past life, like in a very tragic way. And you're like, at the same time, so happy that you found them again, but so scared that you could lose them again. I don't know if you've ever felt, why am I so like attached to this person? Maybe you even thought, this isn't like me. Like, I'm usually not the clingy type, but I don't want to let this person go. Whether that's a romantic love interest or a family member that you feel really attached to, and that maybe you kind of feel an irrational fear of losing, that might be the reason. It's not that your personality is clingy. I think it's because you literally have lost them before. And maybe there's even a part of you in your past life that felt like it was your fault, because, which it wasn't, obviously, but maybe you felt like, if only I had protected them more. If only I'd done a better job of defending them. This person is weirdly looking like Hilary Duff to me. Maybe not that much. Maybe she's just blonde. But from the angle I was looking at her, it kind of looked like Hilary Duff. Okay. What else does group number 1, or group number 3, sorry, I was staring at this and then I said 1. Although maybe group number 1 was calling out to you as well. What else does group number 3 need to know about their blueprint? The spirit plane. The Weaver. Interesting. So this would be the Chariot in a traditional tarot deck, and then the Weaver is an original card of this deck. Weaver is definitely given me creative vibes. You are a creative trailblazer. You are a pioneer. If you do create, I think you will enjoy incorporating spiritual elements, or you will channel your works. The Weaver is also, you could work with textiles, which is very specific, but I'm thinking of like weaving a tapestry, kind of thinking of sewing. Oh my gosh. I'm a little bit clumsy for this group. I'm hearing you have a stroke of genius, where you have a very specific kind of genius. Infinite paths, wow. And this would be the sun. So there's a lot of different ways that your life can go. And it's interesting that this is the sun, that's more fire energy. Oh, we also have Cancer energy here. And it's very creative. It's interesting too how there's like two people or two beings walking in this card, and one of them is following the other. I do think you'll be a leader in this lifetime, but just not in the same way as you have been in past lives. Like I mentioned before, you're leading with your ideas, so you're leading by example, and I think a lot of people will follow you. You might actually have a lot of followers, like social media followers or supporters as a result of what you do. I think you could also have a lot of copycats, but no one can quite do it like you because they're just not tapped in the same way, or like tapped into the same genius as you. And that's okay. They're tapped into their own kind of genius. But people might be tempted to mimic what you are doing instead of, like, you might deal with people who take inspiration the wrong way. And there's actually a card about this in the Creative Compass Oracle, which I've had for quite some time. It was kindly sent to me by the creator of the deck. But there's a card that talks about creative copycats, and it says, like, inspiration doesn't mean that you mimic that person. It means that they, like, called you to take action. They inspired you to take action. You know, so if I'm inspired by a musician, it means that maybe I'm seeing them perform on stage and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I want to do this too. But I'm going to perform my own music in my own way. It's just that seeing them called me to take that action. Inspiration is not, oh, I like what they're doing and copying it. So I feel like you are dealing with some copycats. I mean, is it flattering or is it annoying? I don't know. It will be up to you how you feel about it. But I don't think that anyone can truly duplicate what you're doing. And there could also be a message in there for you. Remember that people who inspire you, it doesn't mean that you have to do things exactly like them in order to be successful. There's no need to compare what you're doing to what other people are doing and thinking like, should I do things more like them? No, you shouldn't, because they're already doing things like them and making their difference. So we're good with that. What the world needs now is your unique flavor, your unique style. We don't need clones doing the same thing. I also feel there's something that's exciting about what you do is that there's like infinite possible combinations in what you do. So, for example, a tarot reader, there's infinite ways that the tarot cards can combine, and so it feels new and exciting every time. Or a chef, there's, well, maybe infinite different ingredients that you can use, and you can combine them in different ways every time. Even if you're kind of using the same materials. Music, there's 12 notes, or maybe more if you're using quarter tones. But you combine them in a different way and make something different every time. You guys get the picture. So you are like you're like a master combiner, a master mixer. You might even we had that message of textiles, like taking old fabrics and making them into something new. You are an innovator. I guess you could even say that about words. Like, maybe there's a finite number of words, but if you combine them in different ways, you can say infinite different things. It's cool too that we have the spirit plane, which is like Cancerian energy. And then we have this creative energy and the weavers in the middle. You're kind of like a bridge between the spirit plane and earth. And there's infinite ways to channel this intelligence down to earth. When it's time for you to do something, I feel like there's a council of higher beings that you work with. They could be your star family. They could be ascended masters. But if there's ever anything that that they want to birth into the world, and they feel like you would be a good channel for that. I feel like they'll give you pretty clear instructions and pretty strong signs. It's very up to you if you want to take that on and create what is being shown to you. But you might be someone who you cannot really control your inspiration. You know, you can't, okay, I'm going to create for this many hours a day. I'm going to sit down every Wednesday. I feel like inspiration just hits you when it hits you, and it will be very strong. And I do feel it's like a counsel. That's how it's coming through to me. There is a counsel that works with you and like presents you ideas that they have, and then your soul would be like, oh, I got it. Like I put a little bit of this, put a little bit of that, and birth it into the world. You can work with them because they're not incarnate. It's like they need a human to channel their ideas. You may choose to work with them, you may not. You may do your own thing. No pressure. But they show the ideas to you because you would be a very good channel of them. You are in high demand from the higher incarnate beings. What else do we have for my number threes? The Ace of Embers, Ace of Wands, more creativity, more channeling, more fire. I do feel like in some way this incarnation marks the start of a new cycle for you. Because you've been through some rough shit with this Assassin card. You've been through hard times. I feel like you've maybe dealt with a lot of like battle or violence in previous lifetimes. You're redefining what it means to be a leader. You're being a leader in a safer way, in a more enjoyable way. The person on this card often reminds me of the Magician, because I think the Magician is wearing like a red cloak with something white underneath, in the Rider-Waite deck at least. And the way he has his hands like stretched out, it looks like he's receiving downloads from the cosmos. We have the Seven of Trees. So this is the Seven of Pentacles. You guys might be into gardening as well, or some kind of outdoor hands-on activity like that, because in many Seven of Pentacles cards we do see a person growing a plant. So that could be something you enjoy. You could grow your own food. You could have a career that is involved in food, like a chef, like we spoke about before, a food critic, a food photographer, a food blogger, a baker, like a farmer. You could have your own market or have your own restaurant or something like that, or something to do with plants, a florist, an arbor, I think it is, that they like take care of trees. You could have an orchard, a Christmas tree farm, something like that. You could plant trees, like like volunteer for reforestation and things like that. You're definitely living a slower life this time around. You're living a slower life, and everything you do is like a labor of love. And I feel like one thing that's amazing about you is that you will master the art of not falling for the trap of, I want to say capitalism, that's just like, make more faster. You would shut down people who speak to you like that, you know? When is the next project gonna be ready? When is the next launch coming? And it's like, we get it. Like, you're excited for what I have to produce, and I'm very grateful for that. But these things must not be rushed, because I am not making fast food. I am making a lavish banquet for you to feast on. You could have like a winery too. There's something with like food or plants that keeps coming up. A sommelier. But yeah, you really take your time, and you're like, the work that you do is the embodiment of quality over quantity. And even if you put out work infrequently, you still would make enough to support yourself, because the work that you do put out is such high quality and can be priced very high. So like an example of this would be, you're like, maybe you own an upscale restaurant that only seats 4 people. That's crazy, right? Well, you're only gonna have 4 people. Like, how are you gonna make money? It's because you have such a good reputation of making the best quality dishes, and there's like a 2-year waiting list to get into your restaurant, and people are paying top dollar for it, you know? Or maybe you're a musician who only puts out an album like every 5 years or whenever they feel like it. But you better believe there's tons of people eagerly waiting to eat that album up. You don't have to be putting things out every 2 seconds. And there's nothing wrong with putting things out quickly. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't fall into the trap of, I need to put something out fast because people are waiting. No, if your heart's not in it, if you haven't perfected it, it's not ready. So life will be slow. You might find that blessings come to you later on in life. You might find that you're really being taught patience in this lifetime. And if you struggle with being patient, it might come from something in your past life where there was always this need to act quickly. So you might have this subconscious thing of like, if I don't act quickly, something bad is gonna happen. If I don't get this done quickly, something bad is gonna happen. I think you're used to wanting things to come fast. You're used to having to be on your toes. And I think you're just slowing down more in this life. Okay, let's take one more and then let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Shore, which is, oh, interesting. This is the Tower. And then at the bottom, we have the 9 of Trees, which is the 9 of Pentacles. Likely you guys will be self-employed, or you will have a high level of independence in what you do. I'm getting owner vibes, like you're the owner of something, or you're the founder of something, or you're your own boss. Let's look, and I feel like every time you try to do something that is out of alignment with this, it will like fall apart. Because I think your soul is very dead set on doing what they were meant to do, like being this independent, creative, that it's like anytime you would try to do something else, it would go horribly wrong as a way to redirect you. That's what I think of when I see the Tower. So just one example, but like, let's say you were meant to start your own business. It's almost like your higher self wouldn't let you be able to keep a 9-to-5 job. Like something would always happen that it doesn't work out. And it's your soul trying to say very clearly, like, we're not supposed to be doing this. So if you ever wonder, like, am I making a mistake? Am I on the wrong path? If you were, your higher self will put an end to that shit pretty quickly. So if you're ever wondering that, I feel like you only need to wait for a little while and that situation will just naturally come to an end. Let's read. I've been reading the bottom of the deck energy, so let's read the 9 of Trees. Ooh, sophistication, stability, and luxury. Oh, I also wanted to mention this is This is Mars energy, which also feels fiery. And this is Venus in Virgo. So there could be a Leo with Venus in Virgo, or a Cancer with Venus in Virgo, or any combination of that. Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Okay, let's see. The Grand Palace, this is the Grand Palace, boasts opulence and luxury. Steep spires jut out into the sky, and the ruby dome shines in the last of the dusk light. Here behind the palace is a garden with a tree that seems to have taken inspiration from the Grand Palace itself, shooting upwards into the sky. The giant tree is satisfied here in the shade of the monumental structure, and so are the 8 other trees encircling the garden. Ooh, I just got a download when reading this, like the 8 trees. I think you have 8 soulmates or 8 soul family members who are incarnated. You probably have many more who are not incarnate. Oh my God, 8. Yeah, 8 birds. And birds might be like the symbol of your soul family. Wow, that's so cool. And you know what's super interesting too? I just remembered, I'm not super familiar with this deck, but I remember that the suit of trees in this deck, it's all about like nature and mankind working together. So you see a lot of imagery of man-made structures that are surrounded by trees. So again, there's something about nature and plants that is significant to this group. I also think that you are destined to have a very beautiful house, a very beautiful home. You are destined to live in your dream home, whatever that is for you. For some of you, it might be a lavish palace like this. For others of you, it might be a little hut in the mountains. But you're destined to have a house that makes you very content. You may even work from home if that's something you want. Okay. Oh, and also this is on page 93 in case that's relevant. Maybe some of you were born in 93. Could also be 39 backwards, like the age 39. Okay. The Grand Palace is a visual representation of the sophistication, stability, and luxury that comes with hard work. So in your past, it was hard work just to preserve order. Hard work just to protect what was already yours. Hard work to prevent loss. That's what you had to do in your past lives. Your hard work didn't lead to you gaining anything. It was to defend what was yours so that it wasn't wrongfully taken away from you, which is so draining. Whereas now, your hard work creates gain in your life. That's the new beginning. That's the change that is happening in this incarnation. When this card appears, it is a symbol of great wealth approaching. Love that. Whatever you have been diligently working towards is about to transform into physical reward. So many of you guys are already on this path that we've been talking about, or you're about to find it. Pamper yourself, enjoy the finer things in life. There is nothing wrong with imbibing in your prosperity. The challenge here is to not let the material aspects of success swallow you completely. Stay humble and remember that things were not always this way. There's quite a few similarities to group 1, and I even accidentally called you guys group 1. I don't know if you were drawn to that group as well, but that's pretty interesting. So definitely something your soul intended to experience is the finer things in the material side of life. And I know the guidebook said pamper yourself, but I want to just add to not think of self-care as like, oh, I'm pampering myself, I'm spoiling myself, and think of it more as just, this is what I do. This is my routine. Like, I take care of myself. It's normal. Like, normalize it rather than thinking of it as a special treat, if that makes sense. So that's another big theme of your life this time around as well, is enjoying the fruits of your labor and using it to give back to yourself and to care for yourself. Group number 3s, I am almost out of space on this card, so I am going to switch it out. But in the last part of the reading, we're going to pull some more cards for your advice of how you can align with this path. Although I think, like I said, that many of you are already, you know, in the process of walking down this path, but we'll still pull some advice cards. So I will see you in a second. And oh, I was like, where's the deck? It's right here. Okay. We are gonna pull some extra cards for your advice. Okay, how can group number 3 align or align more? Because I have a feeling that a lot of you are already pretty aligned. How can group number 3 align more with this path? I'm hearing savor happiness, savor moments of joy in your life, no matter how small. And in fact, savoring small moments of joy will make them bigger. Always remember the truth that what you put your focus on does grow. Ooh. Practice journaling, practice automatic writing. That will bring a lot of truth to you. If you can't be bothered to write, you can do automatic speaking. That's what I do. So the same way for automatic writing, you just put your pen to the paper and don't think about it and see what messages come. You can do that with speaking too. We have the 3 of trees. So collaboration is in order for you guys, group number 3. Teamwork is in order. We spoke about you having 8 soulmates. You might be meeting a couple of them soon, or you may already know a couple of them. And these are your creative collaborators. Or are you making something together, or are you just keeping each other on track with your individual goals? That I am not sure of, but it's time for you to partner up with a couple of people and work together. I'm hearing they're already in your life, or you already know who they are, because this is advice that you can act on pretty much immediately. I guess it depends really what you feel called to. If there are people in your life that you feel called to collaborate with, I think that this is your sign to make that happen. This could also be advice for you to accept help from others, whether that is them actively getting involved in your projects, introducing you to people who might be helpful, or giving you feedback on your work. Don't be shy to ask someone, hey, like, I'm working on this. I'm wondering if you have any advice for me. I'm wondering if you have any feedback, or if you want to, get in on this project and collaborate. I think you're used to having to do everything alone from previous lifetimes, or maybe even your past in this lifetime. And you're good at that. I think you're good at stepping up and being independent and getting everything done by yourself. But just because you can do everything alone, it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you should. Oftentimes, putting our heads together with others can make something even better. So yeah, collaboration, reaching out for collaborations, reaching out for help, accepting other people's input, accepting other people's feedback. This is a piece of advice for you guys. It could also be surrounding yourself with people who have similar interests as you, or who have a similar work ethic to you, because then you can keep each other on track. I think you'll find that a theme for you in the next year and a half is all about networking and getting you with the right people. Because we spoke about that council who is the council of higher beings who's bringing you ideas. They might find that they need multiple people to bring one of their ideas to life. And so you might be finding you're having some chance encounters with fellow creative spirits. Well, actually, they're not chance encounters, but they're very planned. But Three of Pentacles is a card that makes me think of a creative soul family or a professional soul family. And I'm being told that a couple of them are already in your life, or you already know who these people are. We have the Nine of Lotuses, which is the Nine of Cups. I feel like this is a bit of a reiteration of that message to savor your happiness, but gratitude is super, super important, because gratitude will also amplify that feeling of joy, and it really does make you a magnet to more blessings. And whether you believe that, you know, that's actually the universe responding to you and giving you more blessings, or maybe you're skeptical and you say, oh, that's just because I'm becoming more aware of good things around me. It doesn't matter. Both of those are positive. Both of those are good outcomes. So go out of your way to see the positive in situations. It might feel forced at first, it might feel cheesy, but it will come naturally eventually, to the point where your brain will just naturally seek out good things. And I do believe it is both. I believe that, you know, we're gonna see more good things if we're trying to see more good things. And I also think that the universe responds to our gratitude by giving us more blessings. Be content with what you have, and don't be afraid to make wishes, you know? And that kind of goes to asking for help. The same way you can ask people in your life for help, you can also ask spirit for help. You can ask the stars for help. Don't be afraid to make wishes and get your hopes up. It's a beautiful thing. If you are journaling or automatic writing, you might want to do it with the intention of making wishes, and you might be surprised at what comes out. Like, oh, so this is what my heart really wants. Very interesting. Also with fire, you might want to ask someone in your life to do rapid fire with you. You know, when you just ask someone questions in succession really, really quickly, and then they just like spit out the answer. That can also be a really interesting way of seeing how you truly feel. I used to do that with my life coach, where she would just like ask me questions, and as fast as you can, like, don't think too much, just write the answer down. And some of the things that came out was like very interesting. There were some areas of my life where my ego thought that I was happy in them, but I actually wasn't. And there are other areas of my life that my ego thought I wasn't happy in, but I actually was. Sometimes your ego is on some bullshit, but your ego has some latency, I think. So when you do rapid fire, you kind of bypass it and you see how you truly feel. At least that's what I think. I haven't scientifically tested this, but could be revealing. Could be insightful. Rapid fire, automatic writing. Okay, let's get one more for you guys. I just noticed 3 and 9, and we had that, this was on page 93. I was like 93, 39. That could be significant. Maybe the mirroring numbers that you often see are like 39, 93, 93, 39, or you might see 369 a lot. I've heard that many people see 369. Or combinations of those. I don't see them, but a lot of people do. And that's also a manifestation method, I'm pretty sure. There's a 369 method. I do not know what it is, but it is a method. Oh, okay, and finally we have the Pathfinder. Let's read this one too. The Pathfinder. Oh, you know what it is actually? These are court cards. I just realized that now. Oops. I haven't been reading them like that. I'm like, oh, this is like an original card, but no, they're court cards. Anyway, the Pathfinder is... Where is he? Oh, this is the Page of Pentacles. Ambition, diligence, achiever. An anthropomorphic lion takes the stance of a runner prepared to achieve victory at any cost. The ground beneath their feet shakes, waiting patiently to make their move. The earth is a playground. The ground offers a course to chart, and the trees give the pathfinder heights to soar. If there is a way to get there, they will surely find it. Where there is a will, there is a way. The Pathfinder is someone who always reaches their goals and are straight to the point. There's no time for games. Their eye is on the prize. This can be good in a reading, especially when you are unsure about the outcome of an event. Don't spend any more time worrying about it. This victory will be a gift from the universe, so be diligent and ambitious with your plans. If you follow the boldness of the Pathfinder, you will achieve greatness. Group number 3, keep doing what you're doing. Ooh, this, I was gonna mention like page 104, 104 could be significant. And then the camera timer was at 1004. Cause like I restarted the camera when I changed the card. So it was at like 10 minutes-ish, 1004. Keep doing what you're doing. So many of you who chose this group, like you're already on the right path. And I think it sounds so simple, but your advice is just keep going. You're on to something. You are doing something right. Keep going. Keep celebrating all your little victories, all your little joys. Be open to collaboration, accepting advice, accepting help. You already have a couple soul family members in your life, and there are more coming. You are already on your way home. And I hope you feel at home. I guess your home is really inside you all along, which sounds cheesy, but I think it's true. Like you will feel like you're at home when you're living in alignment with your true self, and you are very much on the way to that. And it's very admirable. Like committing to yourself is such, it's a trait that I love in humans because it's scary to do that in this world, you know? It is. But you are a brave pioneer and you got this. Okay, group number 3s, those are, I just saw 1144. These are all the messages I have for you. So I'm gonna end your reading here, or all the messages the council has for you, I should say. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I am sending you guys lots of love. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm taking off my jewelry. And that's the outro. Take my rings off. Who is that? In case it is relevant to some of you guys, that was regarding a piano bench. So piano might be significant to some of you. I have to return a piano bench, and it was a whole ordeal. But anyway, thank you for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'm sending so much love to you and to your whole soul family, all the beings who are guiding you, and all of your loved ones here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys soon for the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the Citrine, this is going to be your reading all about your divine life blueprint. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but in this reading, not only are we going to get messages about what is in your life blueprint, but we're also going to get advice for how you can tap into it. And another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is that, of course, you are group 4. And when I was holding up the crystal in the intro to show it to you guys, the camera timer went to 444, and I thought that was really cool because it matches with the number of your group, and this might be an important number for you guys. And I also have a very strong image of butterflies coming through for this group. So let's get into the cards. We're gonna start off with these oracle cards, and then we're going to move into the tarot for further messages and advice. So to start off, we have the Queen, determination, sacrifice. We have the Crown Chakra, assistance without interference with Sirius and the future. We have the 6th house with routine. Milestone. And finally, we have trust. Okay, so there is a bit of Virgo energy coming through with this 6th house card. So, oh, and also we have like 6th house and then number 6 right next to that. So 6 could also be a significant number for you guys. Maybe you have a lot of placements in the 6th house. You could be born on the 6th or in the month of June, or be a life path 6. And in terms of this Virgo energy, that could be referring to you, so placements that you have, or there could be a Virgo who is very significant to you in this lifetime. But I think it's quite interesting that we have a crown on this card, on the Queen card, and then we have the crown chakra. So this could be a double indication of just how strong your crown chakra is, meaning that we have a group of highly gifted psychics over here. Although I think that something you will be learning in this lifetime is how to control your psychic insights, because I just got the feeling of someone who cannot really control when these insights come to them. So for example, they might have prophetic dreams about the most random stuff happening in their life. That does come true, and that's really cool. But then when there's something that they specifically want to know about the future, it's like they can't have a prophetic dream about it on demand. So sometimes you might feel like the psychic gifts are out of your control, like they just come to you when they feel like it. But I have a feeling that you can harness this, and I also have a feeling that you have successfully harnessed this in your previous lifetimes. I think you definitely had a lot of past lives here on Earth where you were very aware of your psychic gifts and actually used them to bring you success and fulfillment. And so you can find this control in this lifetime. You can make it work for you when you want it to. That's something that your soul intends to experience in this lifetime. I also think that with the Queen and the crown, it could be hinting for some of you that you have had past lives as royalty, as a monarch. And I just realized maybe that's why I was seeing butterflies, because like monarch, butterfly, and a queen is a monarch. Maybe monarch butterfly is a spirit animal of yours. But I get the feeling for some of you, you have had past lives or a past life as some kind of royalty, or perhaps you worked for a royal family. Maybe you served them, or you worked or lived in the palace. And with this drawing here, I forget what this thing is called, the something man, but this is a Renaissance, it's a Da Vinci drawing. So perhaps you were a ruler in the Renaissance period, which is around, oh gosh, like, I don't know, 1500s or something. Although it doesn't necessarily have to have been in Europe. But if you resonate, or if you've felt like you had a past life in that sort of role, I can definitely see that here. And perhaps you even use your psychic gifts to lead or to help you make decisions, or you used spiritual tools, spiritual divination tools to help you assume your role better. You are very intelligent, and you have been so in all of your incarnations. With this 6th house Virgo energy here, I think you're very good at problem solving and staying organized. That could be something that you are very much embodying in this lifetime, or you're learning to reconnect, because you do have that talent of analysis, of organizing, and of solving complex issues. Yeah, many of you guys have been some kind of leader or ruler, because I want to say you were an excellent leader, and the moves that you made, it was for the good of all. You were very determined to fulfill your role, and there was nothing selfish about the way you went about it. Like, you would literally sacrifice yourself for your people. You would do anything. You were a very noble ruler. You might not even like that word for yourself. Like, no, I'm not ruling over my people, I'm serving them. You have definitely used your psychic abilities in previous lifetimes and consulted with psychics. I think your connection to the divine, it is a very important part of you. And I think the psychic gift is in your lineage. With the Queen here, maybe it's your maternal line, like maybe your grandmother or your great-great-grandmother was highly psychic as well. There could be a specific type of magic or a specific type of divination that is linked to like your ancestry, the part of the world where your ancestors come from. There might be a specific type of magic that will call to you in this lifetime, or specific deities from your ancestors' culture that will call to work with you. You have been working with them for many lifetimes. You have done some amazing work to serve the people, to serve the masses in your previous lifetimes. And because of that, you will be helped in this incarnation and in your future incarnations. Assistance without interference. You've done some amazing work on Earth, and so you will be, I'm seeing like, it's, the word VIP is coming to my mind, which is such a silly human word, like you're a VIP, but you have that little bit of extra help to get where you want to go smoothly and to keep BS away from you. And this is, I guess you could say it's like your positive karma that you have sown in your previous lifetimes, and now you are reaping it. But I think that, and even with this 6th house Virgo-y energy, I think that the desire to serve and to make your community or make the world a better place is something that is very deep within you, and definitely something that you will accomplish in this lifetime. I feel what I can see from the second half of these cards, the camera really wants to focus on this candle, which I think this is gardenia scented, so gardenia might be relevant. Or candles, maybe you will have a candle business, or like a aromatherapy business, essential oils, something of that nature. Or for those of you who are into magic, like witchcraft tools, manifestation tools, you might create and sell those. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that it looks from the second half of these cards that many of you do have big goals, but it seems like right now you're focusing on the details and taking it a day at a time. It seems like you're working on building daily habits right now and focusing more on the repetition of those, and just trusting that if I keep showing up and if I keep being consistent, it will eventually lead to the goals that I am looking for. Thinking about the big goals and the end destination might be kind of overwhelming for you right now. So you're like, let's just focus on our habits, because habits build results at the end of the day. And there may be a specific milestone, a specific point of progress that you're hoping to reach right now. And you might not know when you're gonna get there, but it seems like you're having faith and you just keep your head down and keep pushing. This could also be advice for you guys. Like if there's a big goal that you're trying to achieve, I think the key is to just focus on daily tasks. Break it down as small as you can and just focus on what you can do every day. Even small efforts will add up. So, I also want to say with this trophy, something that might be in your blueprint is to be some kind of champion. I'm thinking of like an Olympic champion, to participate in championships or to win a very prestigious award, or to win a scholarship that changes your life. There's a feeling of you winning something. You're being chosen, you are in first place, you are the champion, you are the selected recipient. That's a part of your path, and it's almost kind of written in stone. I feel like a lot of the work that you do towards this big goal will be when you're pretty young. It's almost like, I don't know how to describe this, but you know, it's kind of hard to remember events from your younger years, and we're not like fully conscious when we're younger. And I feel like in your younger years, there was just something that was driving you to work really, really, really hard. Almost like you were programmed to do this work. That's kind of how I feel like when I was like learning Japanese and trying to get to Japan. I don't even know how I freaking did it. Just like something came over me and I was like ravenously just studying every day. And now a lot of the happy things that I'm able to experience in my life now is because child version of me like busted her ass, young version of me. But I don't really remember that struggle because it was like so long ago. It doesn't feel like I worked really hard. And it's really hard to explain this, but I feel like a lot of the work that you put towards receiving this milestone, it was almost like maybe a spirit guide was working through you or something like that. I don't know. But when you look back, it will feel just so natural that it fell into your lap. Like, of course I would get this trophy. Of course I would win. Very weird. I don't even know if I explained that accurately, but I think when you're on the right path, it will feel like something has just come over you and you are like obsessed with working towards this goal. If you're feeling lukewarm, if you feel like you have to drag yourself out of bed or drag yourself off the couch to do something, it might not be the right path for you. It's like you're possessed. When you're on the right path, you just like can't stop thinking about it and can't stop working towards it because all of your spirit guides are working with you. Okay, I gotta drink some water. And we are gonna get into the tarot, which is technically called an oracle. It's the Cosma Visions Oracle. And we're gonna get some more information about your blueprint, and then we're gonna get some advice for you. Okay, we have the crow, which is the magician. Crows could also be an important crows, ravens, monarch butterflies. The letter C could also be an important initial, CCC, in your name or in the name of someone important to you. In a past life, your name could have started with C. C also makes me think of Cancer, Capricorn. Okay, so we have the Protector, ooh, Sumo, and the Six of Birds, which is the Six of Swords. Maybe some of you guys will be a sumo wrestler or some kind of athlete. I'm thinking of martial arts. I know sumo is not a martial art. Is it? Oh my gosh, I sound so ignorant. I don't think so. But you could be into martial arts or some sort of fighting, boxing, fencing, or a one-on-one sport. Tennis, table tennis, chess. That's not a sport, but it's one-on-one. Something where you're facing an opponent. We have the Cosmic Tree, which is the Hermit, and the Five of Lotuses, which is the Five of Cups. The Four of Embers, which is the Four of Wands. I love to see that. Okay, let's get one more. The Two of Embers, which is the Two of Wands. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Past Lives. So I've been reading from the guidebook for the bottom of the deck energy. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the Death card in the traditional tarot. Okay. Past lives. expansion, and awareness. One of the most important lessons learned in the spirit plane is of past lives. It can easily be forgotten on Earth, but is crucial in understanding the journey of the soul. Each life you have lived is representative of a different awareness you have developed with the world. In each of these lives, you have overcome obstacles and learned invaluable lessons that have given you the perspective that you hold today. Understand this is not your imagination, but rather the distance of a memory, and that you are greater than yourself. In fact, you have had many selves and have had many bodies. Each past life you have lived influences the decisions and events of your current life, your fears, your dreams, your wants and desires. Your past lives are entangled in each choice you make and the things that make you who you are. You have pulled this card to draw awareness to this. You are constantly expanding. New cycles are beginning and ending all the time. Take this spiritual lesson and let it shift you into the effervescent soul you wish to be. And this is on page 38. And I also want to look at the Protector because this is a court card. I finally remembered in group 3 that these are court cards, but I don't know which is which. So where is the Protector? Okay, the Protector is the King of Wands. Perceptive and flowing creativity. A molten figure emerges from the magma and pounces towards the snowy field. Keen perception gives the Protector an upper hand in a duel. Yeah, something about dueling, or like you are doing something one-on-one with an opponent. Arriving at the scene ahead of their foe's expectation. The Protector has an inner need to guard their territory and those around them. They can predict outcomes of events before they have even begun. I also want to say, first of all, I feel like that's confirming your psychic abilities. But also, it may not be a one-on-one opponent, but it could be that what you do in this lifetime, you work with people one-on-one. You do one-on-one sessions with people. When you pull the Protector in a reading, it can be symbolic of an excellent time to take a deeper plunge into your creativity. There is a guarding energy around the projects you are taking on. Something bigger than you that knows it's important to see these things through. Wow. Allow it to radiate through you and see this as a beneficial time for new ideas to emerge. Trust your intuition to guide you through this state of heightened creativity. And we have the number 99, which does make me think of spiritual growth and spiritual advancement and something bigger than you. And it reminds me a lot of what I was saying before. I feel like when your soul wants to do something, a force that is greater than you like steps in, and it feels like you are overcome by this energy or like possessed by this energy, and you just put a ton of effort into it. And I want to say as well, with the Hermit and the 5 of Cups here, and also with sacrifice, because it is so important for your soul to serve, there might be times where it's like there's the human you, and there's your ego and what it wants, and then there's what your soul wants. And what your soul truly wants is serving the greater good, serving your community, making a positive impact on others. And sometimes these two forces will be at odds. And I think that there will be some times in your life where it almost feels like life is pulling you away from what you want to do in the moment so that you can serve your greater purpose. Because this feels, the 5 of Lotuses feels like a sadness or a loss. An example of this might be, let's say you are going to medical school because you want to be a doctor, and that is like your calling to, and actually you could very well do something in healthcare with the 6th house here, but it would be like you have to sacrifice, maybe you have to sacrifice your social life. Maybe you miss some important events with your friends, or you just miss like going and hanging out, or maybe you have to sacrifice some of your hobbies and you don't really want to do that, and it feels bad and it feels sad, but at the same time, there's something in you that is just like driving you to keep going in medical school. It's like you can't stop because you're being pushed into your greater calling by your soul. And sometimes it's like sometimes your ego and your soul could be at odds, but deep down you just have that feeling like this is what I'm supposed to do right now, and it sucks that I can't go and hang out and party, or that I can't go and do my hobby, but I'm just consumed with the desire to keep going down this path because I know that I'm gonna serve so many people and make such a difference. And I feel like that higher calling will win. I feel like there will be things that you sacrifice temporarily so that you can assume the role that you are meant to be in. Something about airplanes or flying could be relevant to this group as well, like a pilot, a flight attendant. You could have been a pilot or the captain of a ship in a past life, or maybe you're working on a cruise ship, or maybe you're a fisherman. There could be, because I'm looking at these boats sinking and it looks like there's a plane falling out of the sky. You could have a kind of traumatic past life memory, or maybe even in this life, that involves some form of transportation crashing or sinking. If you have any recurring dreams or recurring nightmares, unfortunately, that could be something that is from your past life as well. Also, I apologize if these messages are kind of all over the place, but I'm just saying them as they come up. With the crow, I think it's important to remember that any disappointments you experience in life, while it may not be what your ego wanted, it is ultimately leading you to the things that you are trying to manifest. There may be a lesson in this life of giving up instant gratification so that you can have greater blessings in the long-term future. I do think that this group has a lot of determination and a lot of discipline, but sometimes you could even, I don't know if resent it is the right word, but I feel like this group will be satisfied when you achieve great things and when you serve a large group of people. And you might think sometimes that life would be easier if you didn't care so much, if you weren't so ambitious, if you weren't so intelligent, then maybe you could just live a more chill life. But it's like you can't. It's like something drives you to keep going and keep pushing yourself and keep getting better and better. I think this group has excellent endurance. So you would be good at, a lot of you might be called to like endurance sports, or like, I'm just thinking of these sumo wrestlers, like an athlete who has to train really, really hard because you have that perseverance, or a nurse who works like 15-hour shifts, or who works all night, or a pilot or a flight attendant who is spending like a bunch of their life up in the air and being jet lagged and dehydrated. There might be something kind of strenuous about the work that you do, or maybe if you work with energy, that can be extremely draining as well. There's a feeling that what you do is not for the faint of heart. Like you have to really want it. And I think that you really, really do. And so sometimes you might miss out on the little pleasures of life so that you can follow your greater purpose. And I think it's important to remember that anytime you experience a loss, the universe will return something even greater to you. And any disappointments that you do experience along the way are actually, in the end, a part of what you are trying to manifest. something to keep in mind. Having a companion animal could bring you good luck, or a companion animal that you do have could be a spirit guide or a soulmate. For those of you who are looking for a romantic soulmate, I'm hearing that will happen kind of later in your life. We have the King of Wands. This is the King of Wands. Like, we have a Queen and a King. For those of you who are looking for your romantic soulmate, you definitely do have one. You may be at a physical distance from them right now. And I feel like both of you are focused on yourselves at the moment. And so the union with them is just something that is happening later in life. But I feel like you both miss each other and you're both looking for each other. If you're with someone right now, I'm hearing don't let them go. You might work through healing negative thought patterns with your partner, work through mental health issues, or stand by each other through your mental health issues. You will know when someone is right for you because they will make you feel more confident and they will bring peace to your life. Even if they bring up things that you need to heal, you will always feel confident and at peace around them. If someone makes you feel insecure, or if you just feel insecure around someone, if you feel like your self-esteem is low, if you feel like you're not worthy of them, if you feel anxious or nervous around them, it's not the one. Yeah, with the Four of Embers here, you definitely do have a soulmate. Many of you are destined to marry this person or just be their life partner if marriage is not your thing. I feel like you and your partner, you will always have your own things going. And even when you're together in union, you may not spend a ton of time physically together because you're both so ambitious and busy. You may move around for work, or they may move around for work. And you could eventually collaborate together, but you definitely have your own things going. And I think that you will value freedom in the relationship. But with that being said, when you are together, I think your domestic life is very happy. If you're someone who's very particular about the rhythm of your lifestyle and your routine and, how things look in your home and where things are placed, I feel like they will fit into that really, really nicely. You will know when someone is the one for you because you will have the same values and you will have the same rhythm. Maybe you have the same sleeping and eating patterns, or you are comfortable in the same temperature. Your cohabiting experience will be very comfortable. We have, at least from what you can see in this card, it looks like there are 4 people, except for one of them is cut out. You can't see them. So I think you have met a lot of your soulmates in this lifetime. I think you know who most of them are. And there's one person who is significant that you haven't met yet. Interesting. We have 2 Aries cards coming out next to each other. An Aries Mars and an Aries Venus. This person could be the same sign as you, or they could be an Aries. Yeah, there's someone you haven't met yet who wants to come in, but their higher self is wondering when is the best time to approach you. I also just got a feeling of dentistry, which could be you, or maybe this person is in dentistry or something health related or something cosmetic related, but you and your life partner will both be extremely hardworking. If you haven't met them yet, you can probably see who they are in your past lives. that might be something cool to do. When I've done a few past life meditations, and it's so weird because I'll see people and obviously they look completely different from anyone in my life now. And I just know, I'm like, oh, that's my sister. Oh, that's my great aunt. It's so weird. I don't know how. I guess it's like when you have a dream and like the person looks like Avril Lavigne, but you're like, oh, that's my mom, you know? You can just tell in the dream. So exploring your past lives, you might realize like, oh my gosh, that's my brother. Oh my gosh, that's my dog. Oh my gosh, that's my soulmate that I haven't met yet. But there's like a mystery soulmate who wants to make themselves known to you. And they're just, it's coming through. They are wondering, when is the best time to approach you? Is this a good time? Is it not? Almost like they are wary, maybe, of like the best time to approach you. I think, their higher self is saying that in a past life, or maybe even in your past, in this life, they kind of became obsessed with you and maybe kind of lost themselves in you, and their higher self doesn't want that to happen again. And so they're really making sure that their human self builds up a really strong sense of self and sense of purpose, independent from anyone else, and like really finds themselves before they come into your life. So yeah, it's not that they're wary of you, they're wary of themselves. Yeah. So you will definitely reach a point where you've mastered your psychic abilities, where you can make them work for you when you want them to. And we've spoken about a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you would be good at. I know I was listing out a bunch of random things throughout this reading, but I want you guys to remember that you are heavily protected. I think crows are a symbol of your protection. Butterflies seem to be a symbol of your higher self. You will manifest great things in this lifetime, and deep down it looks like you really have a heart that wants to serve and wants to make people's lives better. I see you having a happy home life. I see that you already know who a lot of your soul family is, which is awesome. And there's a mystery soulmate who's coming in soon. Well, actually, I don't know if it's soon, but they're coming in. So let's get some advice for you guys. What can you do to align with your divine blueprint? I get Queen of Swords vibes from this group and also from this card. If you do readings or watch, well, of course you watch readings, I feel like when the Queen of Swords comes out in a reading, it is referring to you. And the King of Wands could be a reference to your counterpart. There may be also a significant relocation in your lifetime that is destined, a certain place that you feel called to. And it's for magical reasons. The magic of that place or the deities of that place are favoring you. I feel also an encouragement to learn a new language, but it came through as learn a new alphabet, learn a new writing system. What is advice for group number 4? Okay. Ooh, we have the Ace of Birds. So this is the Ace of Swords. I'm not surprised that this came out because you guys are so highly intelligent. There could be a deity who wants to work with you who comes through as a bird, or who is like some kind of bird human hybrid looking being. I'm also not surprised because the Ace of Swords makes me think of mental clarity. It makes me think of downloads. I think your biggest piece of advice is to trust and act on your downloads. Acting on them, or even writing them down, will make them happen more often. And having them happen, because it's like the person who's sending you the downloads, if you act on them and write them down, they're like, oh, group 4 is listening. Let me send more, because now that I got their attention, let me send some more. And having these happen more often will lead to you being able to control them. Like, you know, I want to get a download about this specific thing. Because it's like you're building a relationship with the consciousness on the other side, whether that's your higher self, whether that's a deity who's sending you the downloads, or many different beings. The more you respond to them, the more they will send them. And then it creates a stronger relationship between the two of you that you can start kind of asking for what you want. You can start being a little more picky with what you order from them. You could try, there's also advice to try sending telepathic messages. You will find that it really works in your favor. So like, I don't know, if there's a job you want, you can send telepathic messages to the, I don't know, the HR, to the boss of the company. If you want to meet your soulmate, try sending them telepathic messages. I think you're quite good at it. Maybe that helped you in your ruler role. What else does group number 4 need to know? We have the 7 of Embers, which is the 7 of Wands. Yeah, there's a feeling of like needing to fight for something or defend something that is important to you. And with this, I don't know if this is a phoenix or what, but coming out of the book, it feels like you are defending the truth. You may be in an industry where there is a lot of misinformation or a lot of corruption or a lot of ignorance, or people are just kind of uneducated on it. Like, I don't know, in law, for example, a lot of people might be uneducated about what their rights are, you know? So you might defend with your knowledge or defend with the truth. Or often people can be quite bigoted because of misinformation or because of a lack of education. And so it's like you can shut these people down with hard, cold facts. Your weapon is facts. Your weapon is truth. Your weapon is your extensive knowledge and your intelligence. Like, no, that's not how it works. You cannot pull the wool over my eyes. It says here on page 369, paragraph 2, article 4, word 17, that you are wrong. Like that. So anyway, I know that's not really advice, but read as much as you can. Learn extensively about the things you're interested in, because your knowledge will be your weapon. You have the raw materials, which is your sharp wit, which is your processing capabilities, which is your analytical capabilities. I have a very strong smell right now of dog. So a dog might be a very lucky companion animal for you guys. And no, there has never been a dog in this apartment. So it's just, that's just coming through. What was I saying? Read extensively and learn extensively as much as you can. Because, and again, I'm thinking of dueling. Like if you're in a debate with someone, you're gonna knock them out because you know your shit. I feel like, let's say there's two people arguing. This person might have the right ideas, but maybe like they don't know about the studies that back it up, or they don't know about the research. And then this person will win the argument just because they sound more intelligent. You know what I mean? So knowledge and reading up and knowing your stuff is like a weapon for you. Interesting. Okay, let's get one more. Ooh, and then we have the Five of Embers. Yeah, you're in like something about what you're doing. It's like competitive, or there's opponents. Like we're battling it out in some way. And you will piss people off because you don't even break a sweat. Like, you make it look so easy. You're like, oh darling, like I could wrestle you in high heels. You're just like, can you give me a real challenge? Like this is too easy. Yeah, you're just, and you've always been this way. Just so strong, so put together, but just so graceful. You make it look easy. Maybe it is easy to you, I don't know. But it's like anyone who tries to compete with you or tries to go against you or discredit you or tell you you're wrong, you just like with a little flick and they fall down like a house of cards. You are the victor. You are the champion. You are meant to win something or be the winner in this lifetime. And it's like, it's silly. It's so easy to you because you know your stuff. When you know your stuff and when you come prepared, like, you're gonna win. You're gonna be successful. Interesting. Okay, so these look like birthday candles to me. Like all of these things. Anyway, I don't know why that's relevant, but happy birthday if it's your birthday. Okay, group. Oh, you know, maybe your solar return is like a really powerful time for manifesting. But anyway, these are all the messages I am seeing for you guys, group number 4. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. I just saw 4444. And I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. And I'm sending lots of love to you, your soul family, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys soon for the next one. Bye-bye.